All right. Well, I think we'll just go ahead and jump into the stream if you guys are
Oh,
ready.
cool.
Hi
Yeah.
everyone. I think we're live. Yep. All right. Cool. Hey guys, this is Caleb, Calebrated Gamer, and I'm streaming again for JDRF. And today we have two very special guests, game developers for Telltale's The Walking Dead. We got Sean and Jake here. How are you guys doing?
Good. Hey, dude.
Super good. Great.
Yeah. Cool.
Super good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's. I don't think I've seen the game since it came out, The Walking Dead. So this is going to be emotionally challenging. This is going to be a toughie.
There's
I'll
a
have it muted.
Okay, yeah.
That way I can just look at the art. Oh, that's actually perfect. If it's muted, I can just look at all the good art.
You don't need to hear your own content back in your ears.
No. Which one are we getting into?
So we're still in season 1, and we finished episode 1 last stream. So we're gonna start episode 2 in this one. So that's
we're starting episode 2. Great. That's perfect, actually, because I did very little on episode 2, except go like, "Good job, Mark Darren. Good job, everyone else."
So yeah. which episodes did y'all work on for the game?
Sean and I, we were I guess we were credited as like season story director people or something. We kind of ran the writer's room and designer room for season 1 generally, but we were mostly episodes 1, 3, and 5 were the ones that we focused on. Is that accurate, Sean?
Yeah. In terms of script, 1, 3, 5, Mark Darren, and some other people.
And Chuck Jordan on 2.
And Chuck Jordan worked on 2, and then Gary Whitta worked on Star Wars' own Gary Whitta
worked on 4, and then Harrison Pink worked on 3, and he'll be on the stream yesterday. He was on that with us.
Yeah.
And also a million people at the time. This was easily the biggest project I think that Telltale had put out. I think by the end of this there were like 70 people on the game, which was a lot at Telltale.
Wow.
Yeah. There was so many people. Yeah, it was
a
Herculean effort.
Yeah.
Well, because normally, like, oftentimes you would work on games. Like my first game there was Wallace and Gromit's Grand Adventures, I think is what it was called. And by the time we got to the episode that I was working on, the market had spoken. Like, people had been like, "I don't know if this game's for me," and I'm like, "Oh, I still have to ship this game." So getting people to work on the game was challenging. But then with The Walking Dead, it was a whole another matter, because people would start, like, it just built and built and built and built. It was this kind of like, it was a little bit of a cultural phenomenon. And so then everyone was on the game, which was great, but also crazy. It was very different. Yeah,
it's honestly good that we're not here to talk about episode 5, because I don't remember any of the production of episode 5 at this point.
I don't remember anything about the production. I remember things about my life, but I don't remember anything about the production. Right. I remember we were living together. I remember we didn't really speak, though. We basically were in the same airspace every single day for weeks on end, Saturdays and Sundays, but we never really communicated. Jake would, like, come home, he would microwave some spaghetti and, like, go to his room.
Memory as well, because we were spending every moment in the office having to talk to each other and work at really high frequency all the time to get the game done. And then we went home.
Yeah, we got decided that game was going to come out before Christmas, remember? And then it was like, ooh. And I remember seeing, like, the waterfall chart that had the writing schedule on it, and it said 14 days. And I was like, can we get 3 more? Yeah. I think we wrote that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
cool.
That's crazy.
Cool.
Well, y'all should be proud to know that y'all's names are at the top of the credits for episode 1 when you beat it. So, there you go.
That's what matters.
And this episode, it is weird and good that we're talking on it, because we didn't do a whole bunch on it. But I'm excited to see it again. My memory of this episode is that it looks really nice and has a bunch of good stuff in it.
Yeah.
That's my extremely inspired memory.
I remember thinking that I always liked episodes. I mean, whenever you want to get started, we can start. But I always liked episodes that had a concept. And I liked that this one was the creepy house concept. I liked that this was Misery or and the guest or whatever, it's kind of, you're the reverse guest, but I guess it's more like misery. But I remember thinking, it's also always grass is greener when you're not working on an episode. You're like, oh, I wish I was working on that episode because my episode's a turd. And then you're like, but why is it a turd? And then you like look in the mirror and you go, oh, because it is me. Yeah. I remember thinking this episode in development was really cool, but it was also a huge challenge because everything got upped. There was the combat stuff at the end, and then there was rain and all these sort of like things that you take for granted, but we were not. Yeah, it was a long time ago. So yeah. I remember this game. I remember this episode being really hard on the team.
Wow.
But we were only 40% of the way done when we finished it.
That's so crazy. Did y'all have anything that stood out to y'all while working on episode 1 that was like, getting that first episode out there?
I mean, all my memories are like petty and dumb. They're like arguing with John Scrow about wanting to rig the pillow that you put over the zombie's face. They're like, can't you just make it work without that pillow having to move? And I was like, no, the pillow has to move.
My memory of episode 1, other than that pillow thing, because that definitely is your salient memory because you've brought it up multiple times. I think that's like, everything else is boiled away.
It's a metaphor for like so much of game development is a grown man talking to another grown person about a make-believe pillow and the bones or lack of bones inside of it. And you just look at yourself and you're like, what the F have I decided to do with my life? Yeah.
My memory of episode 1 coming out was, I feel like the team we'd been working on Walking Dead episode 1 for a long time, at least by Telltale standards, by the time episode 1 came out. And I think everyone had been working on it for so long and the game had undergone so many changes, and it had actually successfully gotten a little bit of buzz for Telltale, which had always kind of been an indie game company that made licensed games. My memory of it was that I had no idea what to expect in terms of reception. I was like, people could look at this and think this is nothing and walk away. That was like my floor for expectations was like through 3 sub basements in terms of like I had no calibration for what to expect. And I remember just being like, oh, okay. Some people like the game. That's great. And that was enough. But then it was like, oh, we have to make 4 more now, and people like it. So that's very interesting to think about.
Right.
Yeah. There was the feeling of, I remember, it's so hard. I think like it's make-believe memories. I have like very fond memories of that first episode, even though it was so hard to make. We made it a couple times, recorded it a few times. We started off really early in this part of the office I don't think we were even technically allowed to be in. Also, silver lining to Telltale going away, but I guess is coming back. But the old Telltale going away is that we can just talk about stuff that I would normally keep to myself. But we were in this part of the office that I think we had a fire code. We were like not allowed to have desks in, so it was just plywood walls and plywood floor. It was a giant storage unit basically.
We didn't have no air conditioning. To be clear.
We didn't. We made a table out of like some filing cabinets and like a piece of wood.
Oh my god!
And we sat in there with Chuck Jordan, who had left Telltale at the time, but we had asked to come back. Who's just a tremendously talented writer, to think about the season story and to start building the pitch that would be Lee and Clementine, and that was really enjoyable. That work was super duper fun. I remember being worried that no one would let us do it. There was opinions that it should be about Rick from the comics, and luckily Robert Kirkman put that to bed really fast once we met him. He was like, don't make it about Rick, make it something new. And I was like, oh, thank God. But that was so fun. That was like early.
That early time was also super easy to romanticize in my mind aesthetically, because that was in the Mystery Space or Narnia, that big empty room in the back. And then our makeshift room was, I believe, made out of old, huge trade show banners from old Telltale booths. So basically we had 3 of our 4 walls were like Strong Bad, Tales of Monkey Island, and Sam and Max, just like giant posters the size of walls. And those were where we put all the Post-it notes up for the story brainstorming. That the fake sitcom version of a makeshift writer's room that is a fun
Oh
time.
yeah. It would be like the episode of 30 Rock where the writer's room like breaks in two, and then like the defectors all go into a storage unit and start making their own show.
Yeah, the storage unit on which the floor says exempt from formaldehyde regulation.
Yeah, for some reason I mean, I'm sure someone who knows about construction would be like, of course, but the plywood in there had that stamp on it on everything. It was like, yeah. It ended up becoming the set of what would become that Walking Dead post-release show that we did. Remember?
Oh yeah, whatever. Playing Dead. Is that what they called it?
Playing Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, they built that set in that room.
Yeah, and I remember we'd go back there to film episodes of that, and I'd be like, "This is so weird that we're doing this like a show where we talk about the thing we made in real time, and also that it's in the storage unit but looks like TV." So strange.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good times.
That's awesome, guys. That's super awesome. It's really cool to hear all these stories about y'all's time. Like, it seems like forever ago, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's making me feel extremely old. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was 10 years ago.
Videos we're children in them, even though it was what? I don't know even how many years
I don't know. I think I look the same, so.
Right.
Okay, that's true, John. You look the same.
I'll just take a brief moment to like mention why we're here, if that's cool with you guys. So today we are streaming to the JDRF Twitch channel, which for those of you who don't know what JDRF is, that's the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and they raise money and do research to help find the cure for type 1 diabetes. It's a really important cause. Right now they are working with Telltale Games and Humble Bundle to have this pack that has all these different games. It has all the Telltale Walking Dead games, Telltale's Batman. It has The Wolf Among Us, a game called Oxenfree, and a game called Heaven's Vault. And you
awesome.
can get
those games are both cool.
Oh yeah. I've never played Heaven's Vault, but I've played Oxenfree, and that was a great one. But you can get all those games for $15. Proceeds go to JDRF. So there's plenty of games to choose from. Even if you give like a small amount, you still get a portion of those games. So I think it's in the chat right now. Yeah. So if you click on that link, proceeds go to there. And then we also have just a donation link at !donate if you want to donate just directly to JDRF. And all that money goes to help find a cure for type 1 diabetes, which is an awesome cause. And it's really cool to have y'all here to help support it, for sure. Let's see.
Nice.
And Emily was saying, Telltale's founder, Dan Connors, is very involved with JDRF. His son has type 1 diabetes. Wow, I did not know that. That's crazy. Yeah, I actually have a best friend who had type 1 diabetes, and he passed away in 2017 from a diabetic coma. So I myself don't have type 1, but of course JDRF became a very important fundraiser for me, a very important charity. So it's really cool to be invited here to stream with you guys and talk to the chat and hopefully raise some money.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But
pick people up and we'll shake them by their ankles until the coins fall out of their pockets.
Right. Do y'all want to see if the chat has any questions for y'all, or do y'all want to just jump in the game? Or
we can do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eyes on the chat.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for Sean and Jake over here? Don't ask me questions. I don't know anything.
You probably know also. I mean, that's not true. We're only gonna ask Caleb questions.
Ask me questions about the bygone days of Telltale.
Yeah, we'll ask you about the development of this game.
Right.
So,
yeah. So what did you do, Caleb?
Caleb, what modeling program did we use?
Start quizzing me. Okay. Josh and with you asks, who would you save, Doug or Carly, in episode 1?
Well, Doug was our actual real life friend who had assigned an actual release to be in the game, and Carly is a fictional creation.
The construct, yeah.
Although,
that's so funny.
I don't know. I get to hang out with Doug in real life if I wanted to, so it's like maybe, I don't know. I have to think about it. I haven't really. It's been a long time since I've made this decision.
Still rather save Doug.
Yeah,
that's fine.
The first time I played through this game, because I've played through the first 3.5 episodes of this game before, it was actually for a stream event thing where I was basically, it wasn't for JDRF, but it was because of my best friend Blake, who passed away. The Walking Dead was one of his favorite series of all time. So I was playing it, and the first time I saved Carly because she had the gun, and I was hoping, she could save herself and Doug, like I had a reason behind it. But the second time the chat convinced me to save Doug, they basically held me hostage until Doug was saved. So Doug's in episode 2 here. Yep.
That's good.
Well, that's good. Doug is not only our friend, but he was one of the original web developers and like IT people and just general web and server tech people at Telltale. So I think also if you're a long time Telltale fan, you probably remember Doug as a guy who hung out on the forums and stuff. So I am not surprised that there's Telltale community affinity for Doug.
Right.
Yeah.
Emily from JDRF asks, how did you come up with the idea of Clementine having a kid in the game?
Man, it was, well, they felt true to The Walking Dead because Carl, the little kid, in Rick's story, is such an important like piece of the story, of the puzzle, of just sort of the tension and the conflicts between everybody, and the difference. So much of The Walking Dead, when you start working on something like that, it's not your own thing. You just have to be like kind of dissect it and go like, oh, so much about this is. The loss of innocence, and et cetera, et cetera. So we sort of knew that was going to be a thing. And then the original idea was that Lee didn't exist, and it was going to be a brother-sister story. My friend Megan blew me up on Twitter today when I said I was going to do this and said, "Oh, are you going to talk about dadification of video games? Because this is like Walking Dead is like patient zero."
one of the ground zero dad games. Yeah.
But I was 25 and Jake was like in his 20s as well still, I think 26 maybe. We were like, we were not thinking about me. I was not thinking about being a dad.
I was but barely in my 30s.
I was responsible to no living thing at the time. But I have a little sister, so there was something about that I remember bringing into the thing, like, oh, that would be really, starting with something you care about. I'm like, oh, that'll be really, like, I'll be easier for me.
Yeah.
Very selfishly, like, and knowing that I was only one of the writers, I'm like, it'd be nice if it was that,
I remember we were worried early on that if this was a game in which everything was going to go badly. This is a little bit rude to Clementine, but I think we thought that having an anchor around the player's ankle would actually be useful, so that if you had a character in the story that we could get, we're like, if we can get players to care about this NPC, then it will probably make them want to play by the rules of the story more and not just be constantly mad that they can't just say and walk out of the group because Clementine is always there.
Totally.
And the character in the story needs to be cared for. So it's like if we can get people to care about Clementine, we can get them to care about all of the other weird consequences that we're asking them to go along with.
Yeah, so much of these exactly. You sit around for days and weeks talking about if you were really in the situation with a game with a story like this, and you go, well, if you're a capable person, why would you lash yourself to this band of
why would you hang
complicated
out with,
monsters?
With Lily and Kenny and Larry? Like,
why would you spend time with Larry? Yeah,
just like, we gotta go. So it all becomes, so much of it is problem solving. There's no big vision or like big grand inspiration, at least the way we've always worked. Even now at Valve, it's like you just go, well, we got a group of smart people, they're trying to solve some problems, and we got to make this thing like soon. So what's going to help us and what's going to hinder us? And then you just kind of put it up on the board and you go like, oh, how are we going to justify X, even though it sounds really cool? Like, if X is true, why wouldn't you just Y? You know, you just do a lot of that.
Gotcha.
So,
Joshing with you in the chat asks, do you hate Larry as much as we did? Sorry for jumping the queue here and asking that question, but no way. I love Larry. I mean, I don't like, if I had to meet Larry, I would hate him. But as a character, I love Larry.
Yeah, gotta have Larry. Larry,
you get so much mileage out of a character like Larry.
And also, it's just a character that is sitting there on the board that when you have to go write a scene, you're just like, his dialogue is right there. Like, you can just hear him go, go, go. Like, it's just, you love Larry if you're making something because he's so easy. He was super easy to write.
Oh, I bet.
And also so well performed. Like, so well, like, just
Terry
the voice.
Who was Larry?
That was Terry McGovern, yeah.
Yeah.
Launchpad McQuack.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so cool. He's one of those characters you love to hate, you know, like you've got Lily who's like, oh no, he's not a bad guy. He's just old. He's just cranky. And you got Larry. He's like, literally pushing Lee down and in front of all these walkers. Like, no, you stay here, you murderer. Like, I'd rather watch you get eaten than bring my daughter to trouble. So it was fun. I hate him, but it was good to have him there.
Yeah. It's one of those things where if we were, if we knew that it was going to be successful and we were going to I don't know, like I would have put Larry, you look back and you go, oh man, I should have put more Larry in the story, or it'd been fun to keep writing Larry. Larry's probably one of the characters I probably wish I was still kind of writing. And Lee. Yeah.
I wish I was writing a really angry racist man who hates everyone.
But the thing is, it's so funny what 10 years does to you, because it would be so hard now, because it's just like we're in the he'd be so hard to write now and not have it just be like, ugh. You'd have to think, how would you make it not just the same crap you hear all the time? It'd be hard. Anyway.
Someone actually asked.
Larry existed in an era before he was able to be radicalized. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep it going.
So someone asked, Big Chungo 69, of course, asked, which of the characters from season 1 was the most enjoyable, fulfilling for y'all to write?
Well, we did talking about Larry at that.
Yeah, so
it was not less the characters and more the types of scenes.
Okay.
Because we would, most of the time in a Telltale game, all the dialogue is subordinate to the game design. So you're just trying to make sure that the wording you're using is communicating the right thing to the player, and you're having a bunch of people tell you that it isn't, in terms of the development team. People giving you just like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make sense. Oh, I thought you meant X. And so it gets really, it's like threading this little needle. But in The Walking Dead, and like everyone, we decided to do something that was really hard, which were these tempo arguments where you're making choices and you can feel the argument going one way or the other. And those scenes were so fun to write. And we got into the point where we knew how to design them. I don't think they ever got easy to make. Like Dennis Leonard is in the chat right now, and he was the lead choreographer on the game, and setting those up with all the characters and getting them acting and the cameras moving and getting like those things, I don't think ever got easy, but they were super fun to write because you could just, and then you just kept branching in as much as you thought the game would sustain. And we got a good sense of how to do those. So I remember when we and that was classic Walking Dead stuff, right? It would be like characters would noodle off on their little stories, and then a bunch of conflict would happen, and then there'd be a blow up in the group, and you just kind of keep doing that. So I like to work on that stuff.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's y'all have some great characters here, and I think it's a sign that they're great characters because y'all can put them in different situations, and you can see like they stay consistent with how their motivations. Like someone was mentioning in the chat how much they love Kenny, and we all the whole chat was loving on Kenny and Clementine when she first popped up. We were all super excited for Clementine, and you know, and they have very specific, like obviously Kenny, like, you know, like his family is like number one priority. Like he will leave everyone behind if it means keeping them safe, you know, and you know, Clementine's holding on to that walkie-talkie for her parents, you know, and it's just good work all around. I really appreciate y'all's hard work on the games.
Yeah, we were a small part, especially with Kenny, because I feel like Kenny ended up really like becoming really important thanks to the work of a lot of other people. And he was, I think people threaded the needle on him really good, because that like, we'll do anything for his family character can kind of get eye rolly, but
right,
you end up liking him so much that you want him to do anything for his family, and I think that stuff is really hard. Yeah.
Right. All right. Do we have any other questions at the moment? Let's see. Oh wait, JDRF says to you guys, I missed the thumbs. Donated $500. Wow. That's amazing.
Wow.
With this message, I miss Idle Thumbs and Dota today every day. Love y'all's work and hope to hear your voices again in the future. That was Dan Streams.
That's kind.
Wow, thank
Dan
you.
Streams. Wow, thanks for the donation.
Thank you.
For a mere 10 more donations of $500 or more, we'll bring back Idle Thumbs for one barn
We'll bring back Dota
episode.
today. You'll bring back Dota today.
I cannot bring back Dota today.
You cannot bring back Dota today.
I worked on Dota today. The video,
God, yeah, you literally shipped.
I literally
Dota today.
shipped Dota content in my job today.
Wow.
Not the podcast Dota today. Yeah, there was a big Dota update today that hopefully people think is fun. I wrote the Dota update that came out today. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Dan asked, when's Inside Dota coming then? You don't have to answer that.
No.
But wow, thank you so much. That's amazing. I actually had a goal set of $500, and we had 70 yesterday, so obviously we passed that. So thank you.
I think we will hit. I think we're gonna go far today.
Yeah,
I just feel it in my bones.
I think between you guys hanging out today, and then who's coming on tomorrow?
Harrison, right?
Yes, Harrison Pink. Between him tomorrow, I think we'll do good. Definitely.
Harrison's really tall.
Oh yeah.
So I think that bodes well for the hall.
That's
as the old axiom goes.
Think that'll help the.
Harrison's very tall, which should bode well for the hall. Yeah.
You know what they say about tall people in interviews? It brings in the money. You know.
Yeah.
Lots of donations.
Yeah, Jake and I are both very, very short.
Someone.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh no.
Please ignore us.
Someone asked, were there any big pivots in the story you made based on the feedback you were getting from the episodes?
Like mid-season? Not
were there any mid-season?
Imagine not.
No, we were sort of too on fire, and too much stuff was in the pipeline. So the things were getting made for episode 5 by the time episode 3 was.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like there were little tiny things here and there. Like I feel like there was a little bit of extra content between Lee and Carly that got added into one of the later episodes, just because we knew from the save stats that a bunch of players had that save game. But like even then, it was like extra dialogue exchange got like it was all very small, if anything. Yeah.
Emily brought up something about Ben, which rings a bell, but I can't say. She's like, wasn't there something about Ben that maybe changed? But
oh boy, I don't remember.
I forgot about Ben until this moment.
That moment, yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna remember anything else. Even, yeah.
Oh, were we gonna kill off Ben? Ben had to be more unlikable. Oh, maybe. I totally don't remember anything about that. My memory of Ben is I like Ben. And then I bet the story did Ben dirty, which it shouldn't have done. justice for Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. My memory is that most of the big swings of the story, or like the big beats, were pretty locked in, and more than anything, I think we just felt fortunate playing through the season that nothing was being totally knocked off track and that people were generally on board. It was more like, oh good, we're able to actually keep doing the story we wanted to do, which means we'll probably be able to finish it reasonably and not have to do a bunch of course correction. Like, it's not that we weren't open to it, it's that the groundwork that the team laid turned out to be pretty solid and we didn't have to deviate.
Yeah, it was really fortunate. There was two things that happened. One was we settled on an ending that we liked early, and then our schedule was so tight that we didn't build in the time to second guess the decisions we've made about the ending, because it would have been very easy to go, oh, this game's really popular, don't kill the star. Spoiler for anyone who hasn't experienced the game yet and was waiting for the JDRF stream to finally go through it. Yeah. And by the star, I mean Doug.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry. Yeah.
It would have been super. I mean, you think like I mean, it's a testament to like everyone at Telltale. Like, we were just making the game and just believing in the thing we had started it off to make. But like, have we been at a major publisher or something, like with 400 people on the team, and like someone being like, whoa, hold on, everyone stop, this is a phenomenon, now we need to change it, change the plans. Could have been bad.
Yeah, I think to everyone's credit on the team and at the company at that point, when the game started heating up as the season went on, I think everyone even got more excited about the ending, which is awesome. That everyone is like, oh man, well, no one knows what's in store at the end of the season, and I think we actually got more and more excited to be able to lay out the end of episode 5 for people.
Yeah, and it didn't leak.
It's good,
man. Yeah, all the sort of things you would kind of worry about more today, like Twitter existed, and people. I was tweeting. I remember at the time in 2010, but like 20, whenever it came out,
11, 12, 13,
12, 11. But it just wasn't the same. Yeah.
It's just a lot easier for that kind of stuff to get out now.
Yep.
And like, things take on a life of their own now that I think makes a lot of creators uncomfortable in general. It's a double-edged sword, because you reap the rewards of things becoming a phenomenon, but also it's just really loud. It just gets really loud when you're at the center of it, you know, I think for people.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was really cool that y'all had, you know, even though y'all were still trucking on the episodes, like, you know, you couldn't wait for fan feedback to go from episode to episode, but at the same time, like, it's nice to know, like, if I used to do like YouTube videos, and whenever I'm making it, I can't stop and think like, oh, I hope people are gonna like it, you know, halfway through making the video.
Oh, no kidding.
Because like, yeah, there's like no feedback. But like when I'm streaming, you know, if I get a few minutes in the stream and someone says, oh, the mic is muted, or, you know, like, I mean, just little things here and there, I'm like, oh, I can fix it. Like, oh, I can, you know, oh, I'm on the right track, you know.
Yeah, totally.
So that's neat. That's awesome.
Jake and I have had an arrangement on Walking Dead, and then threw that onto Firewatch, where I just don't read any of the stuff, and then he reads all the stuff, and then we've read half the stuff by average. So, so it works out.
It works out fine.
Yeah.
I've still not played
should we
Firewatch.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, it's fine.
It'll be there. It's not going anywhere. Yeah.
I do this thing where I like try to go as blind in the game as possible when I play them. So I haven't, like, you know, I've seen like bits and pieces of that, and like this game I'd played a few episodes of before. I've never seen the ending. Now I've been spoiled to it already, so like, you know,
on this very stream.
That better not have been me.
A few minutes ago.
Oh no.
No,
really?
No.
Oh, God.
No, the internet beat you to it. There's enough, like, you all you have to do is type in, you know, like, Telltale's The Walking Dead and pull up images, and you'll find enough incriminating, you know, pictures. Especially trying to find, like, you know, images for the stream. I'd already known, you know, probably forever ago, probably when I first played the game, but you know, just it's really cool to be playing this game, for y'all to be here. We can keep chatting with the chat. I know there's still questions.
Let's
get going. Yeah.
we can keep answering them while we're going if you want to.
Yeah.
I think we should just get going.
Yeah. If you guys are cool with it, I don't have y'all's cameras set up for the stream. I can set it up, or we can just use y'all's mics for the stream portion, like the game.
Mics are fine. Not having to people look at me would be great. Sounds good.
I can't imagine that anyone will be sad about that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll switch over to the game. Once again, guys, this is for JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. And once again, we are playing Telltale Games' The Walking Dead, raising money to help fight type 1 diabetes. Oh my gosh, yeah. Wow. So far we've raised $740 just from donations alone. That's amazing. So that's not even people who have bought the Humble Bundle sale. You know, that is just donating to this stream. So thank y'all so much, guys. I'm going to try to read these usernames. I apologize if I butcher them.
Oh, if you we can read them too.
Yeah.
So you can.
How about?
Yeah, we can split our efforts here.
Right. How about y'all read them, since they probably don't care to hear my voice read their names.
No. I mean, well, the thing that people don't know about Jake is he's a master impressionist. So Jake is going to actually read all the names and the various voices of the characters of The Walking Dead, aren't you, Jake?
Yes, I am Jake.
Look at that. Incredible.
There you
go. Madam Moonshadow, $20. Thank you. A gouge.
Nailed it.
$50.
Yes.
Ti Dad, $100. And I Miss the Thumbs. Love you guys. $500. Wow, big spender. Bill the Cat, $20. Thank you. Joshua, $20. Gunther, $17. $30. Get your name up here, and Jake will do his classic Al Gore impression while saying your name.
That's what I do.
I invented the internet.
Classic Al Gore right there. You did it.
That's amazing.
He only does failed political candidate voices, unfortunately. He has a very good Geraldine Ferraro impression.
You know, there's a lot of talk, but not a lot of impressions.
It's true. So yeah, I guess if you hit I've never played the shipping version of these games. So oh man, the woods.
Sean, are you saying you're not familiar with the main menu?
I'm not familiar with the menu
flow of The Walking Dead Season 1?
No.
Because I am.
Yes. We actually started episode 2 yesterday, just because the stream went quicker than we expected. But we can either start over episode 2.
Oh no! Let's just go.
Okay.
I have nothing in memory that I did work. Yeah, just go. Catch up to the stream. People want the fresh. People want the freshness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were in the woods where we came across what are the it was Ben and his buddy who got chomped and their teacher, but I guess.
Oh yeah.
Oh, from the band bus or whatever.
They're like a basketball team or something.
Sports team and a band or something. I don't remember the.
They were kind of dorky looking, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were rocking the band.
Or were they
Letterman
basketball?
jackets.
I can't remember. I thought that it was like some mix of athletes.
Yeah,
and
something.
So I actually worked on this part. I remember I worked on this opening, this woods part. I did some work here. I remember now. This is all coming back to me. I loved that silly scene. I liked everything about that way that worked. That band and that teacher.
Cut him out of the bear trap with the axe. That was fun.
Man.
I don't know if that was the only option. I took off his leg. I assume that's the only option.
You're being ordered by the JDRF Twitch account to start over.
Oh, start over. I want to see that horrible bear trap again. All right, you know what?
All right.
I think we can do that. It's not that long of a segment.
Yeah.
And I think people will appreciate like she said, watching that whole terribleness all over again. Don't forget, this game adapts to the choices you make.
I never will.
So many. I won't remember that. Telltale Games presents, in association with Skybound Entertainment.
Yeah.
I remember this opening because this episode, I think, is directed by Nick and Dennis. I don't remember which of them was the director.
In their tiki office.
Yeah. Nick Herman and Dennis Leonard worked on this episode a lot, and those guys also worked on Borderlands in the first episode of Wolf Among Us and have been at Telltale forever.
What'd they get this time?
But I remember
Looks like a rabbit.
I remember at the time, like the small things that you get frustrated by. I remember being upset that they put the title cards over the opening of the episode because I really wanted all the episodes to open on black. I'm sorry that I cared, Dennis.
Maybe you shouldn't have opened the door.
That's the important information people came to the stream for, I'm sure.
Getting your apologies in now.
Yeah, I'm going to apologize to Dennis for every opinion that I had.
8 years later. That sounds good.
Yep.
We're all hungry.
Honestly.
No kidding.
Had you delivered those opinions as one of your signature impressions, it would have gone over better, I think.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to lose it.
That joke's never going to pay off, Sean. I just got to tell you.
I got hours for this joke to bear
I
fruit.
wish I knew for sure how much food we have.
It only ends perfectly when at the very end I go, plus Jake has a pitch perfect Richard Pryor impression, and you just like, all this like sounds as if. That's what it goes off.
But he knows it's important to keep the adults functioning. Sometimes
Wait,
that
I can't.
means someone's
Oh,
gotta
so here's the
listen.
thing. This guy,
You think
this
Kenny's
dude,
having
Mark.
more
this
luck
something.
than
This
we
is
are out here?
so. This is something that we thought was
sure
cool,
hope
which
so.
is just sort of like thinking about television
Between the lack of
and
food and Kenny and Lily
like,
fighting all the time.
games don't do this sort of
Getting
thing. But this is the sort of thing that we would
Kenny's been
really
talking about
go to the
taking
mat
off
for,
if he can get that
which is
RV
we
right.
wanted it to start like time had passed, and that's not just like Lee being in different clothes, but like there's just another guy there, and they have rapport.
Kenny won't abandon
You know,
us.
there's just like another guy.
I guess
He
we'll
wasn't
see.
in the first
Can't
episode.
blame him.
If I please
You hear
God, he
Larry
wasn't in the
goes
first
off
Yeah,
on him
he
last
just
Yeah.
What's the old guy's
mystically
deal anyway?
appears in
Yeah.
the
He's
scene.
got a
And
problem
it just
with
sort
you
of
in
it
particular.
does all this work for you. You don't have to be like, really glad I joined your crew, blah 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 blah, you know, or like how are we
He's
going to
just
introduce
an
new
old
characters?
racist
It's like, you know what, time has
That's his
passed.
deal.
He needs to get
like-
over that and start finding a way to pull his
Yeah.
weight.
It
I
works.
really,
Problems are
I
not-
was
we
I
should
was
all
very
be out
happy
there trying to
that we
find
just
food.
started this,
And I know Lily thinks
as
he's
they
getting
say,
weak.
in media
The guy's
res
all
with these
muscle.
two dudes walking
a
through the
walking
woods,
pile
and they
driver.
don't have to go
You know,
through
I
a big
wouldn't be stuck in a room.
getting to know you.
Didn't he punch you in the
Yeah,
face
because
once?
I honestly, like, you know, like most players, it was confusing at first because it's like, oh wait, did I miss a scene? Like, when did? But then when you realize, like you said, you know, showing not telling, like you didn't have to do an exposition dump for this to make sense. I think it worked out really well.
Gunshot'll bring water.
Yeah, you think you I mean, it gets really easy to fall in this trap, right? Where you're like, well, there's a new character, we got to introduce him.
Freaking
We're like,
hungry.
whoa, do you?
I'm
You
so
know?
glad we met at the roller rink.
Yeah.
where-
Shit, was that
People are
Kenny?
smart.
I don't know.
People,
Come
people
on.
pick up on stuff like really quick. It's kind of
Right. I wanted to say real quick, Dan Streams, the one who donated $500, had a question for y'all. And it was, what is the process like for writing a playable character that is the identity other than your own? In this case, a person of color. And what lessons were learned doing it for The Walking Dead?
I don't know about what lessons were learned. I also don't know how I would tackle that question if I was trying to make this game today, both in the fact that I'm older and wiser and just sort of have my feelings about a lot of this stuff has shifted.
Travis, maybe they can help. These might be the same guys that
yeah,
raided our camp. We barely got away from that.
I mean,
what guys?
whenever you sit down
Why
to
the
write, you're
fuck
gonna
is there a
write
bear trap out here.
It's okay.
people that
We're
aren't
not
like
gonna
you.
hurt you.
And if on the surface
Please,
it's
just
like
let us
there's
go. We're not a threat to you. Can't chill
gender
out.
and race
We'll
and
try to help
sexuality
you.
and
Gotta shut the
you can go
fuck
on and on and
up.
on and on.
This is fucked up. We gotta help.
So
Please.
it's about being
Then shut
authentic
up.
and
My dad
respectful
was
and
special
smart
forces. I know
about
what I'm
it
doing.
and real.
Just see if you can get him out.
And
After
one,
that, you
but
can
you
leave
also
us
have
or
to
whatever.
deeply
I
examine
don't
why
care.
you're doing it.
Please.
And in The Walking Dead, you know, like it takes place in Georgia.
No, I swear.
I always remember thinking,
Hurry, please, hurry.
like I actually think there's, you know, like I think you could probably, there's a lot of mistakes, not just the writing, but also there should be more people of color in the game just to represent the location of the game, like that their location is set in. You know, like every single screenshot here, you're looking at it, it's like, oh, there's Lee, who's black, and then there's like white people around him. Like, I'm like become much more critical of that stuff, and I don't think I would do it today, to be honest. I think the room would be much more diverse. I don't think it would be me and Jake. And not because like we wouldn't just then go ahead and make the character white, but I think we would have to think about from the top down, like the organization that we're building to do this. Yeah, you know, I've thought a lot about that. And I you know, it's interesting. Like, it feels like so long ago, and internally at the time, we're like, you know, if you like, Georgia's, like, the population of Georgia is, the demographics of Georgia are way different than what the comic book purports. Like, Lee should be black. But also, I kind of just wanted to base Lee on this professor I had at USC, and he is startlingly close to him. This writer, Percival Everett, who I had a lot of admiration for, and still do. And if you Google him right now, you're going to be like, oh my God. And he was just a voice in my head and working on the game. So there was that as well. But yeah, I think my feelings have shifted on this. I don't know where you're at, Jake, but
I agree.
Oh, that was one of your impressions.
Yep.
There was.
That's Jake's rare Walter Mondale impression.
I was gonna refer to Mondale, and then I didn't. But you got there.
Hopefully, I turned the game down enough. I know everyone was like, turn the game down. We can't hear them. So I have been messing with the volume.
Canadian Wolverine in chat has pointed out that this trap does not have an obvious release hatch. That's by design, because spoilers. This trap is meant to capture and detain a human being.
Yes.
You don't know that yet, though, and neither does Lee.
Right. Just seems like a fatal design flaw at this point.
Yeah. Right now, it seems like an oversight on our part. Oh man, this kid.
His dad was Special Forces.
Yeah, his dad worked at Nintendo. I remember that. I know what I'm doing. My dad was in Special Forces. It's like, all right. Calm down. I think Nuki 6 asked, would you rather have an apocalypse of vegan zombies or people eating ones? I'm not quite sure what vegan zombies are, but
I feel like vegan zombies could pose a real problem, because everyone would just sort of be like, whatever, they're not eating people, they're just going around eating all the vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, but
then
like,
so no one would deal with it, and then it would become a huge problem. I don't know how they would propagate. That's another problem. But maybe, you know, like, you know, I just feel like it's got to be people eating zombies. It has to be, because it will force people to deal with it, he said, in the middle of a pandemic.
Right. Yeah. Meditation needed.
They have to eat people. Yeah.
May the zombie apocalypse start in New Zealand, who seem to have figured out how to deal with pandemics with aplomb and efficiency.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the new donation, Inconvenient Truth. Thank you so much for the $20 donation.
Oh yeah. Speaking of things we've ignored, and Al Gore.
Jake Rodkin.
Jake Rodkin invented the internet. Yeah,
it's true.
Come on.
Wait, who invented the internet?
Me.
Okay, yeah.
And the rotary engine.
Oh wow.
People don't talk about that, but that was another one of Jake's creations.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he is incredible. So here's Katya.
Good old Katya.
Belgian American, and voiced by the indelible Sissy Jones, who is the voice of Delilah. This is how we met. This is also, I think, her first game. She auditioned, she crushed the accent. She is one of the hardest working, best people I've ever come across. We became fast friends. And then when we started Campo, I just called her and said, whoever the character is for this game, will you be the voice of it? Because I just want to work with you. And she said yes. And then a year later, I said, okay, I think we have a character. And then she was Delilah. And then she won a BAFTA because that's how good she is. She's awesome.
Sissy's good.
Yeah. And then
season 1,
she was in Half-Life Alyx.
Oh, that's true. She had a tiny part in Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
I forgot that this game didn't have the inky outlines that all the later Telltale games have. They've just been added in my brain, I guess, because I think when they did the special edition of this, they put them back. But it's funny that all these characters have the little like sketchy lines on their shoulders and like little flat textures and stuff. It's amazing in hindsight how little new actual like graphics tech was in this game compared to other Telltale games, and it's all just our team going completely bananas with weird painting.
Yeah, there's like, but it became programmatic with a lot of the shaders and stuff that you see in the later seasons, and also
they eventually had like an ink layer that they put on all this stuff. But in this, it's
like a computer does it. A computer makes it look the way it looks. But here, it's just Derek Sakai painstakingly painting onto people. Yeah.
I've always loved the textured look of the characters and this whole game, to see the sketchy lines on the doors, and like it's a great art style. I love it.
It's a lot more, at least. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Oh no, I would never.
But you ought.
That's true.
You ought. This is your realm. Graphics technology.
I mean, I think we really wanted this stuff to look like the comic book in a screenshot, but to feel like the TV show in its movement and cinematography. I mean, that's simple and kind of boring sounding, but like that was basically the goal. Was like some people are coming to The Walking Dead from comics and some people are coming to it from television, and we wanted it to feel like The Walking Dead for both those groups, and the end result ended up being a really unique feeling thing, at least at the time, I think. And now you got to give handy snacks to people.
Got it. I did a bad thing where I decided to join a stream having not really eaten today. And those handy snacks, I'm vying for one.
Feel free to head out and get some food.
No. We're good. I'll drop in and out a little bit if I get too hungry.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm really the only one who, if I don't know. If I leave, I don't think anyone will mind listening to y'all talk. So I guess
Lee will stop walking around.
Yeah, the game will stop, but the stream will.
I really like Jake. I mean, I really like this light touch version of the shader effect, even though it's not a shader.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like there's a softness in their faces that I think I don't know.
Yeah, same. I like that it ultimately kind of looks like it's all done with watercolor or something. Even the ink lines, it's cool. I remember right before episode 1 went out, I went through and just turned the saturation down like 30 or 40% on every single scene and kind of didn't tell anyone, and then just checked it in. And this episode isn't quite as desaturated as episode 1, but I think the colors in this episode are actually fantastic and they still hold up. I really like it.
Yeah. That was just, I mean, I think our later season is more robust and like less saturated, like whatever, what's the opposite of saturation? More vibrant, I guess.
Came and went across the season. Some of them are really saturated and really contrasty, and then like, but the final season was back to a lot closer to this palette, I feel like, I from when I played it.
Yeah, it's a good palette. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember we really wanted you to feel like the seasons have changed, and it has been 3 months later in the story. So we put a ton of work into episode 1, working with Jesse McCabe, and was Gray on it at that point, or Gray Rogers, or was it just Jesse and Derek? I don't really remember, but I remember the palette of the first episode. We really wanted to feel just bleak and really monochromatic, and then in this episode, we're like, it now has to feel like it's a different time. And the first episode was predicated on everything having no color. So one of the ways we could do it is, at the time, what felt like super, super saturated, bright autumn leaves. And now looking at it, they're still super gray. But it at least it feels like it's a different time of year.
Will you hold the damn board still?
Right. I'm trying. I didn't realize I was getting this weird.
Good old Mark here. I accidentally spilled the beans that I think Larry's an old racist. So I think he's about to stand up for me in the wrong way.
Hey.
I love the dialogue options, and just little things like last time I saved Carly, so there wasn't any variation of like an alarm system, you know, like that's Doug setting that up, but she also had her gun, you know, and it's fun to have. It's fun to play through it again and to see like, you know, oh, you know, they really aren't carbon copies of each other. Like obviously, like I'm not seeing Doug, you know, packing heat, but he's got his own things to bring to the table.
Yeah, I think we probably could have done a better job giving Doug more just sort of tangible mechanical reasons why he's cool, but it's all right.
Yeah.
When I first played through, you know, like in my mind, like I know like so many people love Doug, and like I love his character. Like I love, you know, just the kind of person he is. But like I remember as of like episode 1, all he really brought to the table was that he was talking about my dying zombie brother, and was like he programmed a remote control to work with the TV. And I'm like,
Doug knows all the codes.
I'm like, shut up, Doug. I can do that.
Doug knows all the codes.
He hacked this TV.
Yeah, I realized partway through the season that, you know, the opening, the big argument in the drugstore, sort of at the act break in the first episode. I had actually built that environment, or I had put some. I didn't build the environment, but I had put some stuff into that environment so that it could start off with the sunset light coming through from when you first arrive, and then it slowly could turn to night, because we had a version of that scenario where zombies were breaking in and the players had to actually board up the windows. And now I wish, or not now, I don't care about now, but I remember partway through the season wishing that I had worked with the people who built that scene to have Doug be actively boarding up the window over the course of that argument, and have him be the one who says, like, who tries and fails to tell everyone to be quiet or something, you know, something. So you're like, oh, this guy's handy and he has a level head on his shoulders and he's kind of above the drama. I think something like that would have helped, but you know, whatever. They shipped 3 more seasons and a spinoff after this, so it worked out fine either way.
Yeah, I feel like it was a success overall.
Yeah, we had such bad early instincts. At least, I mean, not we. I should say I. I think there are probably people on the team who had good ones. But like, I had very bad instincts about what was gonna work and what people were gonna latch on to. I mean, on all levels. And I think I also lacked confidence in scope. I think we were so worried about the game. We were like, this is going to sound insane, but given the number of people who worked at Telltale at the time, given the things that I had individually worked on, given the games that had come out, like Jurassic Park came out before this, which was a huge investment by the company that didn't really pan out financially. We were pretty certain that we were not going to, that this wasn't going to go as well as we'd hoped. We thought, like, a good example is like Tales of Monkey Island, which I worked on a little bit. I had no sort of leadership role on, but that was a game where I thought like it was sort of appreciated by the fans. It did okay, but it didn't do gangbusters for the studio. But everyone who worked on it was really happy to have worked on it and really proud of what they had done. And I kind of thought that would just be the same thing here. I remember thinking, this is gonna get like some okay Metacritic scores, like, and some episodes will be better than the other, and then we'll like get it over the finish line, and then we'll see what's next. I remember thinking that really clearly, like that was just the expectation, and we'll just do a lot of good work. We'll be happy with the work we did, but we have no idea who's going to respond to it, and that goes like obviously not the case, but.
Right.
I think it's one of those things where we obviously left after season 1. But there was a lot of, I learned so much about what people liked and didn't like on this game that never really got applied in future games. Because we didn't make another one. But I had no clue. You know. be interesting to like make another one.
When
I don't know.
everything happened.
Gotcha.
When did you guys realize this was
How you holding up, kid?
Puzzle Agent, best Telltale game? Hell yeah.
That's true.
Love Puzzle Agent.
Love
Love
some
Graham
Puzzle Agent.
Annabelle. Love working on that game. Yeah.
What
Puzzle Agent.
have y'all seen the joke on the internet now where
Be prepared next time.
people are cutting into things and it turns out it's cake? You know, like
Oh yeah,
it's like
I
a
have,
roll
yeah.
of toilet paper, you cut into it, it's like, oh no, it was cake the whole time. That's what Gunter there is referencing with Clem.
Oh,
Hopefully no one tried to figure out if Clementine was cake. I don't think that was ever a thing.
No, the zombies are trying to figure out if she's cake.
Yeah,
Which ironically they wouldn't be into. They'd be like, this one's cake.
I know Kenny wants to.
Damn it.
I think that's
Oh no, I was hoping for brains.
yeah. This stream is actually family friendly because inside of Mark's leg was in fact cake.
Yeah, what looks like meat and blood and bone.
Anyone's names in this anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about you and Kenny.
What about us?
Yeah.
It was released in Germany, though. Everyone did have cake inside.
People notice that.
Look, I'm working my ass off to make sure we have a good setup here.
Joshua with you mentioned, or he asked, were there any stats at the end of the chapters that surprised you guys? And I wanted to point out that Harrison was in the chat in yesterday's stream, and he pointed out the fact that like Larry, even though he's like so hated, he's like the fourth top person that people gave one of the snacks to in this episode.
Yeah. Larry gets a lot of snacks because people don't like him and people don't like them and just want to like win them over, which is a really sweet, if not misguided thing. So that was definitely surprising, and we talked about that internally.
Just apply some pressure here while I try to close this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, like I'm shocked with like one of the stats. I think it was like saving Sean or saving Duck, and the majority of people saved Sean. I guess it was like when I tried to save Carly, the mindset of, if I can save this person, maybe we can save the other one. But I was just kind of shocked that so many people chose him over the little boy.
Yeah.
Are there any specific characters y'all want to give snacks to?
Just load them up. Let's get going. Let's get this show on the road.
Okay.
We got bad people to meet.
All right, I'm thinking what chat? I see Lily, I see Feed Ourself.
You can determine who for $100 you can pick.
Right.
For $100.
First person to donate
JDRF.
$100.
Yeah.
First person to donate 100. Okay, so I'm seeing Doug and Mark. I'm seeing a lot of Doug. Seeing the kids. Well, everyone's chatting.
I'm putting
Doug.
my AirPods down to go to the bathroom, so hopefully this doesn't cause it. Something bad doesn't happen.
No, I'm sure it'll be fun. Sounds like we're gonna be feeding Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Oh, and Katja? Is that what y'all are saying?
Suppose I could interest you in some food.
I think Doug seems like a half an apple kind of guy.
Doug?
Sure. I never used to eat fruit. Now this seems like just about the best thing in the world. Thankfully.
I'm not commenting on Doug's weight. He's probably thinner than I am. So it was the food that was handy. Okay, and then we got Clementine. I think the kids were pretty much a I personally always feed the kids. Like in the last playthrough, I fed Clementine and Duck as well. But when we first were playing this yesterday, I didn't quite pass out snacks yet. But everyone was saying to avoid the kids for survival purposes, and I couldn't wrap my mind around it.
That's extremely practical and rude.
Right. I'm like, they're kids. It's like, yeah, well, they'll be fine.
If you have any more food, Duck is hungry too.
It's funny seeing I forgot that in most of season 1 Clementine has a different haircut. It's funny that her little tied back hair became the thing because I remember we spent a long time trying to figure out this look, and it's just all that Clementine looked like to me forever and ever. And now, like, nope, Clementine has not looked like that. She only looked like that for 2.5 episodes, I guess. Doesn't she get a haircut in the middle of episode 3 on the train?
Yeah, it's episode 3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy.
So like halfway through the game, she gets the haircut.
She gets the little pigtail look.
Right. And see, I've only played through part of episode 4. So to me, like, this was the look for Clementine. But now that I've like gotten that far, I'm also like, wow, like her hair was kind of unruly, back then. Which is when we saved Doug, Carly, like the first thing the zombies did was grab her hair and pull her back. And I made a joke about chemistry lab and how you always need to keep your hair tied up. So flames don't grab you or zombies don't grab you. But so it makes sense that it had to go. Do what?
Whatever. Why don't you give it to Doc?
Okay.
I'm a little busy with your mess right now. I need space, Lee.
Joey says, Jake, can you talk about deciding to color code the captions for characters instead of giving them title names? Yeah, I did notice, like Larry being the bright red. And all that.
Boy, can I don't know if I remember the decision on that. I generally think, well, my opinion on this has actually changed a lot after talking to people with accessibility concerns and actually working at Valve, where they're very, very, very concerned about full closed captioning. I think it really depends on what you want subtitles for, but I generally like my own personal preference is like I like on television they don't identify every single character who's talking, and it's just like enough that if you're looking at the screen and seeing someone's lips move, you can kind of assume that that's the person who's talking, unless there's an off-screen voice or something. And I didn't like the superfluous information of speakers or icons or stuff. Like on some earlier Telltale games, we like had little icons of the face next to who's talking. And my preference on that was really like, I want people to look at the subtitles if they have to, because they're having trouble following or they the sound is bad, but I generally hope that people look at the actual characters and the performance we put into it more often. But at this point, I don't feel anywhere nearly as strongly about that as I did on Walking Dead. And I'm like, people should just be able to set up the game and play it the way that they want to. And I like working on Half-Life Alyx at Valve. I thought it was really cool that the people who did the subtitles actually did full closed captioning. I think that's a setting. I don't know if it's on all the time, but like you can get all sound effects cues, any just soundscape stuff can be dumped down into the captions, and I think that's actually really cool. But yeah, on this game, it's also a throwback. Honestly, in Telltale games, it's a throwback to old LucasArts games using the Scum engine, the old point-and-click LucasArts stuff, which established the precedent that every character had a subtitle color, and that was basically how you could tell who was, like, if you play Monkey Island, just like this. I thought of that because I saw here Lee's subtitle is white, and that was the old LucasArts house style, that the protagonist had the white subtitles, and then all of the other characters have a dedicated color kind of based on their look. Like I'm guessing that Kenny's is that color because of his shirt.
Right.
Don't really know.
Red is an angry color. There's Larry.
Yeah. Red is an angry color.
Usually it's just the programmer on the game goes and picks that stuff, I think.
Gotcha. His subtitles have always been the most jarring. Everyone else's is like very light shades of colors, like Kenny's green is still a very light green.
It's very pastel.
Yeah.
That could be because I didn't catch it and go back and correct it.
It could be your fault. No,
it might be.
It works.
Oh yeah, could be. Most certainly.
Man, blame me.
Yeah. I want to say real quick that we the donation bar is to $890 now.
We're gonna have to look at this.
Reread names.
We're gonna have to rescale this. Yeah. Alyssa. Thank you. $10. Anonymous. Classic hacker organization. Anonymous gives $100.
Wow.
That's a great. Thank you. I too remember November. Oh,
We're being eaten. I forgot about that.
God, her face, the animation on her face, and the fingers right near her eye, so
Yep.
good. Big ups to our coworkers. Ah,
Did
Oh, a
great
little
work.
first-person content.
we love first-person content. We wanted the whole game to be first-person. Don't tell.
Ah, would have been great, and then you would have been able to re-release it as a VR game.
Oh my God.
Weird. Becky
can.
in chat says that she thinks that stuff was Mike Shosvold, who is a great animator.
He's
And
sensational.
Becky did choreography and a bunch of other stuff at Telltale as well.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
All the Telltale. Oh, Becky toured it.
She
yeah.
said I toured this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. Lee died. Cool.
Oh,
Oh, Lee
that's not
died.
good.
R.I.P.
We're not going to remember that, though.
Yep.
We all got very excited.
I'm trying to see if I can. I was trying to update the donation bar. I wasn't trying
That's
to
right.
get Lee killed.
You
But-
quick your time. You quick time your way out of this one, and there'll be plenty of downtime.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like snack time would have been a good time to do it instead of being eaten by the band director. But we did verify that he was the band director. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Ben's in the band, but
God, you have to squeeze this guy's eyes out? What?
oh yeah. Oh, and then hold the head still for the axe.
Oh, this
Jeez.
is definitely this feels like a Nick, Dennis, Becky, Mike joint. Like that sort of, we're gonna hold the head in place with the axe. That's an idea that comes out of that group.
Comes out of a
Absolutely,
group of people
surely.
making a scene. Yeah, it's
so good.
and then it was fun to see the gross blood dripping down Lee's thumbs was clearly an effect attached to his hand. I'm not saying that because I dislike it. I'm saying it because I really enjoy it. I like that these games, especially Walking Dead Season 1, to me feels extremely handmade. And I'm sure every Telltale game feels handmade to the people who made them. But I remember in this game, people were pushing the limits of the Telltale tools super far. And it feels like almost every scene feels like people just kind of barely got away with getting all the stuff to work.
Yeah, totally.
On the stream right now,
I guess so.
sorry, the camera framing is constantly good here, where your head is very closely aligned with the character.
We're never bitten.
Right. Yeah. I just want to. First of all, this is like the big moment where you realize that everyone's infected. If you die, you're going to come back. It's one of those things.
Oh yeah, the classic trope where everyone realizes the nature of the rules that everyone who's been playing the game knew since childbirth.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is like I never I never saw the show. I never read the comics. So knowing like classic zombie lore of like, you need to be bit.
The tropes.
Yeah. I remember getting to this point in the game and I'm like, oh crap, what? Like they can come back? That sucks. Why would they do that?
Robert does a really good job of that in the comic. I think there's like someone that Rick cares about turns, or he dies, just straight up dies as a human, and they bury that person. And then when they realize that dead people come back, even if they don't, like when the dead people, he gets on his motorcycle and drives to like give that person a proper whatever, real send off.
Gotcha.
And he does a really nice job of that.
Yeah.
If I remember.
For protection.
I apologize, everyone in the chat. I have shortcuts set up to my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I was updating the donation bar, and it took everything away. The stream changed. It went back to the intro scene, but it's fixed now. We're back.
It's fine. I felt thanked for waiting for the stream to start.
Given a second chance to start all over.
Oh, the brothers are here.
Oh yeah, those bros.
Yep. Definitely nothing shady about these guys.
Those totally nice, helpful guys.
Oh, those helpful dairy farmers.
This whole setup for the like friendly, creepy family who invites you to their barn, and then they're actually living. They're selling. Is it that they're like selling meat,
You're
or
just
are they
total.
just?
What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing, Jake? You're just spoiling here.
Oh, everyone knows it, Sean. It's an
Yeah.
age-old
What I like.
tale.
The thing that I liked about the setup with these guys, without completely spoiling it, is that you know they're bad because there's just no way they're not. Like this is not like the Prancing Dead where everyone is one good thing happen. Yeah, this one good thing, like the most fortunate people in the world. Like, and then we met another group of nice people who went out of their way to provide for us. So you know they're bad, but you don't know in which way they're bad. And I feel like the crew did a really good job of making. And this is actually, I'm misappropriating, like misgiving the props here, but I feel like Chuck Jordan was the impetus behind the way that this family is bad, and it was so awful and so out of control that it was right. You know?
Yeah, the general premise of this was one that Chuck came up with when we were doing the season-long brainstorming, and I think he wrote the first rev of the script for this episode back when we were thinking the whole season might be first person, and then his contract was up and he didn't re-up, and then it had to get largely rewritten because the gameplay completely changed. But the overall premise and sort of arc of the episode was Chuck, and I really enjoy that Chuck was mostly known at Telltale for writing Sam and Max, and then he's like, what about this? What if this is what it is? I know we also really wanted this episode to be the second episode of the season because The Walking Dead, the comic especially at the time, was really known for just outrageous sort of conceptual situations like this where just everything is revealed to be 30 times more nasty than you thought it would be, and suddenly you're just drenched in horror and gore, basically.
That's sort of like, I'm prepared for the worst, and then the author goes, no, you are not.
You are not. And we thought, given the first episode, it was way more about the characters and about just everyone meeting and kind of table setting for the season. We wanted people to feel right off the bat in the second episode, oh, this also is going to do all this sorts of extremely weird scenario-driven horror that you come to expect from the Walking Dead comics and show. And then when we said that would be a good goal for episode 2, I remember being really happy when Chuck pitched this. And I keep wanting to talk about it, but I'll wait.
I know, it's such a great. I've been trying not to spoil anything for those who actually are watching it for the first time. But the ending of this episode was one of my favorites so far, because it was just like, I knew something was up, but it was just really good.
Yeah, and I mean,
I want to say it.
Mark and Nick and Dennis and everyone who did choreography and art and programming on this episode, and all the lighting work at the end of this episode, I remember thinking it was like easily the best looking thing anyone had ever done at Telltale. The atmosphere of this episode is really strong, and it ended up lining up really closely with my memory of what the original pitch for it was, which was awesome.
And just things like that last shot, we're kind of, I guess we're behind. There's the shot where they're walking up to the farm.
Yeah, when you see a house up on a hill like that, you know nothing good is here.
Oh yeah, bad things will happen. Everyone did such a good job of making it feel like it's a place you gotta, like, it's remote. You know, that like going here is going to be a commitment, and we really want to give up what we have. We just got a $20 donation. Sean Finney threw in a bunch. I don't know. That was him. Yes, that was him.
Most recently, we have Alyssa for 10, Sean Finney for 20, and Pierre for 20. So thank y'all so much.
Wow.
Sean Finney, the editor of a bunch of trailers on this game.
Yeah. Is that Pierre? It's
just Pierre. So I don't know.
I wonder if that's our Pierre, Jake.
Who knows?
And Sean Finney said, "Love y'all, miss y'all." There's actually a lot of comments with these with these donations. But
look at the bad posture, bro. is just like
Kenny's working on getting
He's good.
If you're any of these people,
Sounds like a smart man.
every fiber of your animal instincts about other humans is going off. You're like looking at him and being like, no.
That's a
I do not
weasel,
want to
man.
sleep. I do not want to sleep anywhere near this person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He seems
Brenda,
like
sorry, Big Chungo. Brenda's performance, I think, is another sort of is a vestige of Chuck Jordan's like creative
Holy moly!
whatever instincts on this game. He had Brenda dialed in the original script for episode 2 before there was a bit of some game design rework, but that was one of those things that was just dialed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully Maybelle will make it through this bout
I
of
didn't
whatever
want to miss
she's
that
got and be
question.
with us for a good long while.
this is
sick? What's she?
We have a vet. We could bring her here. We can help you folks out.
Chuck Jordan is from the South.
That? Oh my! Our prayers
I just
have been
want to say this whole scene. I mean, like the first time I played it, I was recording YouTube videos on it, so it was just me and a buddy of mine, and so I didn't have interaction with chat. But even still, both of us were immediately like, it's way too bright, it's way too cheery. Like, I equally don't like the little slouchy brother compared to the tall, confident brother. Like, so many red flags going off. And all the other characters are like, yeah, we can bring our kids, we can bring the vet.
Everything's good seeming.
Wow, we won.
Why don't
Yeah.
take a look around?
There's the other thing that I just think is like there's like really good dramatic horror storytelling is to go back to that thing where you go, I know this is bad, but maybe like how is this going to shake out? Because maybe this brother is the good brother, maybe the creepy brother is the good brother, maybe there are no good brothers. Like, yeah.
That's interesting. I never thought of like, maybe the creepy brother stands up to his family, like some sort of twist like that. But
Yeah,
I think it all worked out.
you just sort of like there's
Pretty
so
well.
many the character person everyone's so different in this like the aura that they put out and the way they speak and the way they're written that you just don't know which way the ball's gonna roll, and I think
Right.
that's like the best feeling in a movie. You're like, I know I know stuff's about to happen and it's gonna be bad, but I cannot imagine the way that it happens. That's when I'm usually on the edge of my seat or something.
Right. And I think y'all did a good job of like, there's a little bit of misdirection coming up soon where we're like, right now we're like checking the perimeter, seeing if this place is safe. And soon we're going to realize that there's other people out in the woods causing issues for the farm. And I initially thought like, oh, well, no wonder they're being so cheery. They want us to, solve their problem. They want us to like come deal with these dudes ourselves, put our lives on the line. But of course, obviously, like there's a lot more going on than just a simple rival faction, basically.
Well, I mean, again, like Chuck and Mark and the guys who worked on this episode, there's just really smart decisions that are made about. There isn't just one bad thing in this world. Like there can be bad people in the woods, and there can be bad people in this house, and there can be bad people in your group, and there can be bad people everywhere. They don't just have to have very clean lines. And I think the whole creative team across, like, on the game, like, did a really good job of internalizing that when coming and bring it together. And we have crossed the $1,000 mark.
Wow. So it says,
Okay,
so we got $20 from Harrison Pink. So thank you, Harrison. It's good to have you here, unless someone stole your name. And then
False Harrison.
And then your Pierre is the name. So it is your Pierre. And it
Oh.
said, girlfriend donated in my name, and I felt ashamed for not donating myself. So he donated $100. So thank y'all
Awesome.
so much. Wow. Y'all just got me a
Awesome.
hoodie.
Pierre's a good Pierre. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's so cool. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us, for sure.
Pierre's a Telltale writer who ended up joining after The Walking Dead season 1 and was sort of the big creative voice behind Wolf Among Us and did a bunch of stuff on Tales from the Borderlands. Is an awesome writer, just really awesome writer. And he's got a company called Ad Hoc now, making games in LA.
They're working on Wolf Among Us 2.
Wow.
Is that known, Jake? Is that public?
Yeah, Sean.
Someone was saying it in the chat.
Okay, good.
Right. Yeah. Because I hadn't heard that was coming out, but then someone in the chat.
I knew that was coming out. I didn't know if they were working on this thing.
Right.
But,
okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, please. I rechecked their Twitter page before I said that out loud to make sure that I wasn't a maniac.
Chat will remember that. Yeah, I gotcha.
Do you remember, Sean, when we were doing that PUBG stream and we accidentally revealed Firewatch? That was good. Anyway.
Yeah.
JDRF says.
You're right. Yeah.
We had Nick and Dennis on the Wolf Among Us stream on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Nice.
Well, no, we made similar
Jake Hot Scoops Rodkin for nothing.
That's not what they call me.
That's the name. Don't wear it out.
I think this episode was the only other one that was designed when we had that sort of first-person design structure, and it's, I think, the only episode that still has all of the actual level layouts from that time period. I remember we were really into the idea that the way the Walking Dead games would work is halfway through the episode you would arrive at a hub and then do a bunch of non-linear side missions off of them, which was why in episode 1 there's go push the desk around with Clementine, or go outside and deal with the TV with Doug, or go to the hotel with Carly. And this one has the go walk the fence with one of the brothers, or go do the thing with the other brothers, and then it would all sort of collapse down only once you finished all those activities. We were really into the mission structure thing. Wow, that wide shot is amazing. Sorry,
it looks good.
What kind of Telltale games have a big wide shot?
The other thing, Jake, about that original, so I mean, what Jake's getting at is that we had designed a whole Walking Dead season and a lot of the first episode to take place in first person, and had done a lot of work to just make that work in the engine and build a prototype that we were super into. Ended up being a lot of the inspiration for our design thinking around Firewatch way later. But we also, unfortunately, Jake, had married ourselves to some of these circular and donut style levels, because in first person, it's really nice to be able to just keep moving forward, but end up back where you come from. So if you're I'm going to go for where you can start arbitrarily in any place in the level and go, if I walk forward, I'm going to encounter a character who's going to ask me to do stuff, and I do stuff with that character. And then I'm going to move the story along and build a relationship. You do the stuff, keep moving forward around the donut, if you will. And then there's another character. And by the time you get back to where you started, you've the hub collapses down around you. You've done all the stuff. You've interacted with all the characters. Super nice. Works really great in first person. You put it in third person, and it is a true disaster because you have setting up all your cameras, setting up, having any sort of obstruction, having the walls pop up in weird places. It was so bad, and God bless everyone who just made it work.
I remember on episode 2, this episode really sort of changed over from you, me, and Chuck to Nick, Dennis, Becky, Mark, Darren. I don't remember who all.
Ryan Kaufman.
Who?
Ryan Kaufman.
Kaufman. Yep. Just. What
do you mean by that?
In part because all the team had to take all these ideas for action sequences and levels and completely rethink them as third-person scenarios, which had to play totally differently. The language was completely different, both for how the player was controlling them and how they'd experience them, because it was all cinematic cameras. And I think that's later game, all of the action sequence stuff completely got rebuilt and rethought, and they did a very good job on it. Dan Connors is in chat and says Nick Mastriani did this bit. Good.
Nope.
Because I feel like during most of the production of this episode, Sean, you and I were working on episode 3, and then probably jumping right from that to 5.
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna go from 1 to 5. We had these hopes that we would go from 1 to 5, and then these episodes all got. Everything just got bigger and more complex and harder to make. Maybe easier to make, but more ambitious. And then the story became more intricate. We became sort of like a slave to the branching, you know, of like, oh gosh, how are we going to support this? And then you have 5 episodes with different people on all of them, and how are we going to get the tone to all sync up? And like Harrison was new, so I was like, hey Harrison, welcome to the company. This is like, you good, like join this crazy train. So we ended up just being on 1-3. We ended up being on 3, and 5 just sort of hung out there like I don't know, like an iceberg. Yeah.
Cavalia Trust says it's amazing to me how these games aren't made linearly.
They're made linearly.
They are made linearly. It's just that it's kind of a cascading thing where the writer's room and like sort of writer designer room for episode 1 happened, and then we got it locked off enough that people could start doing concepting, or that people could start going over and work on the script or on the environment art. And then as you sort of free up those people are sort of set off to work on concept art, on environment art, on character modeling, the writer's room switches over to working on episode 2. So it is kind of a waterfall where the writing and story, the sort of story design, overall game design structure happens first, and then people start working downwards from there, and then you move on to the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. So although I think like Sean, you were a writer on episodes 1, 3, and 5, and I ended up doing a lot of design and direction on 1, 3, and 5 in particular, we were in the writer's room for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to sort of help break the story and come up with the overall season. So like as far as we were concerned, it did work linearly, but then when we weren't in that room having meetings, we'd be back at our desks working all over the place on the season, depending on what was in production. But it for each individual person, their job does go pretty linearly. Like, where if you're an environment artist, you're working on environments for episode 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. But people across the studio might be further upstream or downstream from you in production, which I think is pretty similar to television as well.
Mm-hmm.
Was that right? Did I say that well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still all the words.
Look at this tractor. Good.
What happened?
Yeah, I promise I'm listening. I'm also being shot at, so.
Oh, it's fine. You're forgiven.
Pardon my rudeness. I trying to stay alive. Well, let's hope Lily survives. We'll see. We'll see, Chungo.
Another one? How many of those things
Depends on what Lily does. No spoilers, but we'll just see. And we put these bodies here, Gavilla. Oh, not this one.
Are we allowed to talk about Walking Dead season 4?
I think so. JDRF. Thank you for the new donation, Vincent. Super appreciated.
Vincent Perea. What?
Vincent Perea.
Oh, really?
It says,
Good
nice
dude.
work, dudes.
Yeah. He's a game developer of repute. Worked on Neocab from last year. Did all the art. Very good.
There you go.
I think we're gonna hit. We're definitely hitting this goal. I'm just trying to think of how much hubris I want to project onto future goals here. But we're definitely hitting this goal.
So last year I did a charity stream for JDRF where me and we were just streaming to my channel, the Calebrated Gamer one. But like we raised $400, but for us just in one night to raise over 1,000, like I knew bringing you guys on would help JDRF a lot, but I'm honestly just kind of floored at how giving people can be. Like, thank y'all so much, everyone who's donated.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna auction off a night with Jake Rodkin at the end of this, so
Yes.
buckle up.
Right.
We're calling it the Rodkin Dream Night.
Depending on how much you pay, depends on you know how it goes. You know?
Yeah, it depends on whether or not I'll talk to you about Monkey Island 1 or Monkey Island 1 and 2.
Gosh darn it! I was going to say Jake will come to your house and play a socially distant playthrough of Monkey Island 3 on a laptop on your doorstep while you look through the window.
The person you want to play Monkey Island 3 with is Chuck, because he actually
Jordan,
was a writer on that game, which is another thing that I like when people have perceptions of what a person is based on their work, and then that changes when they write more stuff. Like I really like that Chuck, who wrote on Monkey Island 3, also made this episode of The Walking Dead.
Look, I'm sorry, Lee. If I had any inkling they were going to
Oh man, someone's goading you into talking about your screaming match the day we met Robert Kirkman about Super
It was a
Mario
very
Sunshine.
civil debate, Sean. Robert
He
Kirkman
said,
incorrectly
stamping his foot on the ground.
What? No.
I feel like your knee was definitely like.
What was the
moving.
Super Mario Sunshine debate?
Oh, I mean, I probably like stamped my foot and said that he is absolutely wrong, because he is. Kirkman doesn't think that Mario Sunshine is a good game, which is like, give me a break, dude.
I felt like he said he was keeping it like almost outside of the Mario canon.
Yeah.
What?
Like it wasn't like a legitimate Mario game. And Jake, like, first off, just to set the stage here, this is a lunch where we are showing up to meet Robert and his producing partner and his business partner to basically say, like, hey, we're the idiot children who are going to take your baby across the finish line in terms of making a video game, and everyone's going to love it. And not only that, but we're going to tell a whole new story in your world, and it's going to be great. This is what the goal of this meeting is. And we're about, let's call it 15 minutes into it, waiting for a table at a restaurant. Jake, somehow the subject matter of Super Mario Sunshine comes up, which you don't really think is going to be contentious. It's not like we were talking, about international politics and things. It was a good way to start the meeting, of Jake just being like, no, I will take a stand right here, right now for Super Mario Sunshine to this wealthy stranger whose opinion matters to my career.
Here at Telltale Games, we believe in making great games, and we're going to give you a great game just like Super Mario Sunshine. And then he got up and walked out, and then we didn't finish the game.
Right.
Yeah, and then he drove away in his invisible car.
Yep.
Yeah, he flew away on his jet belt.
Right.
His AMC jet belt.
His three butlers that were there lifted him off the ground and carried him to his car.
I don't think Kirkman had three butlers, but he definitely had a bad take on Mario Sunshine.
This is pre-butler. He doesn't come across as a butler man, but he's also been so successful at this stage that I wouldn't begrudge nor
think less of him for having three butlers.
Think less of, yeah. But this was definitely. I think he was like, their office was new. The show wasn't a hit yet.
The show was in production still, I think, when we were starting on this.
The show is an anticipated thing, but how many anticipated comic book adaptation shows have we all experienced in our lives? He didn't know. So this was pre actual jetpack, flying car, 9 butlers. Yeah.
I've got to change the subject to the most benign thing ever and say I really forgot about this gazebo.
Oh,
really?
It's so out of the way. I forget about it. Just playing.
I looked over and said, "Oh, there's a gazebo in this game," and I'm pretty happy about it. I'm a big fan of gazebos.
Oh, there's a gazebo. That's nice.
There's also some characters going out of their scene idle into their dialogue idle and sort of blending into standing in a different spot, which always you love to see it.
I don't know how many of these issues popped up in the original. I'm playing the PlayStation 4 version of this game, which I believe was like the quote unquote definitive edition or whatever it's called.
Is this the definitive edition? Okay, it doesn't.
Wait, no. I don't think this is.
No, it's not, because it's got the original art.
Okay, then this is. I mean, I bought this game years ago, so I don't think this is a definitive. But point is like episode 1. There's a moment where I go to talk to Doug outside, and he's like, how do we turn on those TVs? And Lee's like, well, how about we use this TV remote I found? And he hands it to him. And then later in the stream, I find that TV remote in the office. I hadn't found it yet. But
Caleb, if you were insinuating even in the slightest that there are bugs in these games.
Whoa, I'm not insinuating anything. I'm not trying to throw y'all under the bus in the slightest. However, y'all's names were on the top of those credits.
So much.
And
that's true.
if anyone should be held liable for Lee having a controller with him from the police car ride to that moment, I just wanted to bring it up to you guys. See what y'all's thoughts were on it.
That's fine. We'll fix that and put a patch out right now.
Okay, awesome. If y'all could, actually before the end of the stream, that'd be amazing. I'd really appreciate it.
Oh no, God! Dennis Leonard dropping the hardest truth of all time in chat, which is, he says, side note, there's a version of this entire episode somewhere on the Telltale servers that had a week of extra polish for choreography and audio that never saw the light of day.
Wait for dinner.
Dennis,
Release
surely that
the
was
Leonard
integrated
cut.
into the definitive edition
Release the
because
Leonard
everyone
cut.
remembered that you have a pocket version of the episode somewhere on the server that has an extra week of work. It's a good thing to really reveal now.
That's the sort of thing. I mean, that does shed light on something that I think is extraordinary about people like Dennis, which is that, and I would say this is probably the whole choreo and animation team. I mean, a lot of teams, but definitely those two, which is they loved the product so much that after everyone said pencils down, we're locking you out of source safe, Jake, that they would keep working on it to make it better, thinking that like, oh, maybe this will get swapped out in the future.
It's for the DVD.
Yeah, and whereas if I even hear someone say the word pencils, not even pencils down, someone's just like, oh man, wish we had some pencils. I'm like, oh, pencils down, and I run away from my computer. I'm like, I'm done. I don't care where I'm at. It's over. Someone said I could quit.
Yeah, I was pulled off of multiple episodes at the last minute by a producer who was standing over my desk when everything was supposed to be done because I was still cramming content in, which I don't know if in my case that's actually because I just was like, oh, I got to do so much more great work, and more just that my own work ethic is founded on procrastination. But all the other people are actually really good at their jobs and just really wanted everything to be amazing and kept working, which is crazy. Look at Duck on that swing.
For people who are lamenting the existence of source safe. What a great catch by Kenny! Look at that. Look at the momentum on this animation.
It's fun.
Mike Truesvold strikes again. I don't know who did that. It's really nice though. People who are lamenting source safe. It was my first like hardcore game development job. I'd worked in games before, but not in the same capacity. So learning about source control, which is basically when you're making a video game, there's a server that has all the individual files of the game on it. And if you want to work on one of those files, you basically have to go, it's mine, and then like check it out like a library book, and then put it back. When you're done working on it, you save it on your local machine. You go like, okay, I've made this individual file. I've made Clementine's hair look nicer, and then you put it back. That way, that someone across the hall, like the aisle, isn't also working on that, and then you have a conflict, and then it causes problems. Microsoft Visual Source Safe is like learning to drive in like your grandpa's old tractor with a transmission that doesn't quite work. So I feel like I was done a service by Microsoft Visual Source Safe, being the source control at Telltale, because now I live in a world of Perforce and things like this. They're a lot easier and a lot less. You can't do stuff like I did on Source Safe, which was on my first game, delete days. Maybe he'll pipe up. Dennis, how much of your work did I delete on Wallace and Gromit's Grand Adventures episode 3, Muzzled? It was definitely some, and it was one of the most distressing things I had done in my short career at that time.
No.
And he took it like a champ, but that's the sort of thing that can happen when you are wielding Source Safe without good knowledge.
And you
oh my God.
With great power.
I did. I drove Grandpa's tractor into the canal.
You drove it into Dennis's work.
I could give two shits about what Lily wants.
Don't. Oh, now you're dumping on all Perforce. Perforce. We use Perforce at Valve. It's great. Happy to have it. Works fine.
Sean, I feel like you cannot open up the version control personal preferences chat here. We'll never leave.
That's true. There was another question. How did we prepare for the Kirkman meeting? I don't know if we did a lot of preparation. We didn't bring anything. It was just like Jake and I, Dan and Kevin, Steve. Am I missing anybody?
How you holding up?
Maybe Kevin Boyle was there.
Yeah, Kevin Boyle. Yeah, producer. Kept everything is the reason that there's even came out even ever on time. Yeah, we just went and sat down. But at that point, I felt like pretty prepared because we knew the story that we thought would be good. We knew Kirkman's story up one side and down the other. I didn't feel ill prepared. And we'd pitched so much to each other, and we pitched so much to the team, and we pitched to, and people at the studio that I didn't feel like we needed to like practice how to like tell the story of what we thought we should make.
Yeah, I think that people at Telltale both like collectively, like you said, had pretty high confidence in our own stuff after talking about it forever. And also, I don't think that we really had a sense that this game would blow up to the degree that it did. So, and which is probably beneficial. I feel like everyone's guard was actually down in a lot of these meetings. Like we had a lot of people from the studio there. Like you said, there were about 5-6 people in the room with Skybound, but it was, my memory of it was surprisingly casual and just like, here's some ideas that we have. What do you think? Oh, sounds good. Cool. Well, we're all thinking this. And like, then we just kind of left and just talked about whatever. I mean, it probably was a way bigger deal then, and I'm like majorly downselling it. But my memory of that stuff was that people were on the same page and pretty low key, which was honestly probably part of why the game was able to turn out the way that it did.
I totally agree. Like the biggest conflicts on the game were how we were making it, not necessarily the creative of what we were making. He says, looking backwards through time through rose-colored glasses. Another thing that was, and just sort of like talking about how so much of something like this game is happenstance of circumstance. So Robert was working on the TV show. TV show had had like big name showrunner, was a big deal for AMC, big deal for Robert and Skybound. Had this game that they were going to let Telltale make. Telltale had worked on some really big properties, was just sort of had established as just like a company of people who knew how to tell stories in games, which at the time, and even still a little bit, is like not super common, especially at a high level. So they're like, yeah, well, we're going to do this game at Telltale. Big coup for the company. But also coming off Back to the Future and Jurassic Park, part of people were like, well, those are huge franchises. What's this comic book? And then Robert ends up, the show takes off and is wildly popular from the jump, from the debut. But it also had a bunch of production stress and personalities and which way and creative conflict, et cetera, et cetera. And I think I don't know if this is even true, but sometimes it felt like the show was such a juggernaut and that Robert was so invested in the show that we didn't get a bunch of feedback that we had to deal with. We got a lot of encouragement, but not a lot of, I spent the past 4 days going over the script and looking at the game, and I think X and Y and Z, and I think you're underselling this conflict. I don't know if this works, and I don't know if whatever works. And honestly, probably could have used it. Probably could have used that feedback. Probably would have made the game better because Robert's super smart and talented. But we didn't. It was, who knows how it turns out. Is it better? Is it different? Is it worse? It was just sort of another thing where we just got to like make the game. And I think that the success of the game, I think, was deeply surprising to those guys. Not in terms of its like financial success, but it just sort of having this sort of like cultural, being able to stand on its own 2 feet as its own thing, I think was pretty surprising to them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had never read the, Walking Dead comics. I had never seen the show. I'm an idiot, right? And like,
I don't know.
Wow, wait a
Yeah, that's the word. That's the word I was going to use. You're like, oh, you must have had other interests and people you cared about to talk. Yeah.
What an idiot. Okay, but no,
Hey, you hit the $1,500 goal, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Holy.
Boom. I was just going to say 420, blaze it. Who
wow. Thank you, Street Crawler, for your 420.
Oh my gosh.
They commented, my brother was diagnosed at age 6. My goal is to never have any family go through that. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't even wrap my head around that. I mean, like, the goal tonight, I mean, okay. That $500 goal that I had set up in that bar, that was for me to reach by the end of August. Just to give y'all like an idea of like where my expectations were. Not necessarily for these streams, but like, you know, it's a charity. We're gonna do a charity event in August. So I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and set up my donation bar now, to just go ahead and get the, you know, donations to JDRF started. And you guys have gone above and beyond. I can't even begin to thank y'all enough. But what should the new goal be?
Oh, well, we're at least going to 2. 2 is like 2 is like snooze alert. We're hitting 2. That's gonna happen. So if you want to move it to 2, that's safe. If we want to get,
I shot to 2.5. Let's see. I don't know if we'll hit that tonight, but I'm sure we could hit that between tonight and tomorrow. Like I think that could happen. But yeah, thank y'all. I actually just want to take a brief moment, if you guys are cool with it, and just bring back up the JDRF. All that. I'm supposed to be saying it, like, I'm supposed to bring up JDRF, like, you know, every now and then, but we've been on such a roll of, like, all the Walking Dead talk. And it's amazing to hear y'all talk about Telltale and all the things that y'all remember and all the things y'all went through while making these games. Real quick, I did want to say that, like, the point I was saying about the Walking Dead series is that I was obsessed growing up with Sam and Max, and I was obsessed growing up with Back to the Future. So I, like, went straight to those game series, like, immediately. And between that and between playing some of the old LucasArts games, I ended up, you know, finding, like, this game through that. And it's helped me, like, love The Walking Dead, even though I haven't seen the show and even though I haven't read the comics, because y'all did a great job of just really, you know, having these characters really be in this world, you know. So y'all did great, for sure. But yeah, so JDRF JDRF says, nah, it's cool, you're doing good. JDRF is the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. They raise money and do research to help find the cure for type 1 diabetes, where a person's body just can't make insulin. And it's a very important cause. Y'all have done an amazing job. Already raised $1,500 in donations alone. There's a Humble Bundle that the link to it is going to be in the chat below. Where if you pay anywhere from like $1 to $15, you can get all of the Walking Dead games. You can get Telltale's Batman, Wolf Among Us, and then the games Oxenfree and Heaven's Vault. And those are all included for just $15. You can donate more, but if you're looking to get those games on Steam, I highly recommend clicking on that link in the chat and like grabbing those games. Like honestly, wow. I just wanted to read this comment real quick. Street Crawler said, my brother is 35 now. That was the brother that was diagnosed at the age of 6. That's amazing.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So my story, I've also been asked every now and then to mention my connection with JDRF. And my best friend, Blake, I had known him for 18 years. I was a freshman. I was a first grader, and he was a kindergartner when we met. And
it's like an elementary school freshman.
Yeah. The OG freshman, yeah. And he, we became brothers pretty quickly. We were just about each other's only friends, so we became best friends. And I mean, we went to the same church for years. We didn't go to the same high school, but we did attend the same college, and we were roommates for a couple of years. And in 2017, there was a situation where his girlfriend couldn't reach him, and we sent some guys to go check on him, and he was unconscious on his couch. He had struggled with type 1 diabetes for years. They rushed him to the hospital, and it turned out that he was in a diabetic coma. And all of his friends, he was huge. He had a lot of connections with JDRF as far as he was counselor at camps. So all these like campers and camp counselors were there. All of his buddies from college were there. Like his family, my family, like we were all just crammed into this hospital wing. And unfortunately, he passed away that week. We were there for about a week, hoping he'd pull through, but it just, he had been gone for too long. And sorry, big game moments happening. I'm still going to talk about this though. But point is that obviously
you're a champion. You're a champion. The fact that you're like you're experiencing this nonsense that we've on screen, and then your story combined and your ability to just navigate each with elegance is truly inspiring.
I've worked my and I lost it anyway, but yeah, so like obviously I too, street crawler, just didn't want anyone to have to go through the pain we went through. I mean, like I eventually this girl who I was just friends with at the time was there for me and was like very consoling and was like the person I leaned on, and I ended up marrying her. She's my wife, and our wedding anniversary is in 6 days. My wife, Mary. So like at the end of the day, it ended up like, I don't know if we would have ever gotten in that situation without the worst moments of my life, but it's just not anything I wanted anyone else to have to go through. So from the bottom of my heart, to Sean and Jake here, and to all you guys that donated, thank you all so much. It's amazing work that JDRF does, so I just really appreciate everyone coming together for such an amazing cause. For sure.
What the hell are you talking about?
But yeah, that was my spiel. Yeah. I just wanted to also, this crazy lady, we're afraid she's coming after Clementine.
The real.
And I'm trying to pay attention to the game. I am, but I was like, I need to like finish this story.
No, it's all good. No, the story's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah, thanks for hosting the stream, and also happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's the reason I picked tonight. Oh, yeah, that happened. I was gonna shoot her myself. The reason we're streaming yesterday, tonight, and tomorrow is because she's a night. She works night shifts in labor delivery as a nurse. So I try to stream on the days she's not here, so we can spend time together when she is. And this weekend will be, not a ton we can do with COVID and all that, but we'll have a good relaxing weekend at least. It'll be real nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that lady's wearing a "How May I Assist You" vest, and I'm pretty sure that was either Derek or Jesse, the art director and lead concept artist who designed all the characters. They thought it was really funny that she had a Walmart vest on. I think the idea is that everyone here, you don't ever see it on screen, but all these guys are surviving. All the people outside the dairy are surviving by just living off of the stock room of a Walmart alike called Save Lots.
Save Lots, yeah.
It's the content that people crave. Context you come here for.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I I don't know what the survival purpose of continuing to wear your vest is.
I think it's just clothes that's around. I don't know if she ever worked there. It's who knows.
Oh, like maybe she just helped herself to the vest.
Yeah, maybe there's just a locker room full of how may I help you vests.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it gets cold at night, and she wanted her torso to be warm, but not her arms. So there she goes. She's got a vest.
Oh, speaking of important anniversaries,
this is a very good. Sorry. Important anniversaries.
Today is Randy Tudor's birthday. That's all. I just had to get that out there.
Oh,
happy
programmer
birthday.
Randy Tudor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Randy Tudor, who's I think known in the Walking Dead games more than anything else for having an Easter egg that appears in every single season.
This is a very good scene with what's her face? What's her name? The lady here.
She's so great. I don't even know her name, but like,
did you actually feel this is just like this classic misdirection of just being like, or not even misdirection, just making her a person that has some depth and interiority and has things that she's worried about and is tired and
and she's like, oh, don't worry about them boys, they're good boys, they just they're taking care of their old mama, and it's like, oh, like I love my mama. I'm born and raised in the South, so I understand these boys being mama's boys. That hits home for me.
Look at her. An angel. A tiny angel. Locking herself in the barn.
Is that true, Jake, what you just chatted about?
Oh yeah, the Randy Tudor Easter egg. I don't know who put it in. I think Sean, you might have written the dialogue, but if you click on a chair in a random room in Walking Dead episode 5, like a bunch of times, Lee will turn to the camera and say, "Randy Tudor, powerful stash, one of the greats, powerful stash." I don't remember the order that he says the line.
I had so few of those. We haven't talked once about the glorious, incomparable Dave Fennoy, voice of Lee. Dave is a amazing voice actor.
Love his voice.
He's actually a bunch of heroes in Dota 2.
Oh wow.
Which is confusing for me when I play that game. But if you're Lee, I actually don't play any of his heroes because of it. And
my parents are from Macon.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Wraith King, cool it down. We don't need your backstory here. We're gonna kill an ancient. He's
what's this thing?
He's one of those. He's a serious guy who doesn't take himself seriously, and it's sort of the perfect type of actor to work with. And I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of people like that at this stage, which is just gets in the booth and you just getting his A game every single time, and he's making sure he has the context for everything. He's asking about, oh, what happened before this, or how's Lee feeling here, and so, but also someone you can build a shorthand with as well. I mean, you don't have to, like, I don't know. He's just such a fun person to work with and to direct. But you have to sort of, you get a few of these chips, and you go, hey, great session today. Would you mind just getting one more line where you say, Randy Tudor, great stash, one of the greats? And he's like, is this for the game? I'm like, yeah, it's for the game.
Yeah, sure.
And he's like asking a professional man to say your silly nonsense into a microphone.
I think that line.
Wait, is this where Clementine gets her hat? Yeah, got her hat.
Yeah, we found it.
Yeah, see you at Comic-Con.
She had it earlier on, and then she just loses it in the beginning of this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
She asked us to go find it.
It's probably not.
Yeah.
Just let me know if you ever see anything like that.
What does the D stand for on the hat? Y'all, does it stand for anything?
No, it stands for non-infringing hat after we wanted her to have a hat that was revealed to be copyrighted.
I think we wanted her to have like a Georgia Bulldogs like G.
Yeah, you're just gonna have that big G logo.
And she had that for a long time.
Yeah.
If I remember, we had a version of that where she had that for a while, and then it goes like, okay, we can't clear that. Someone actually owns that. Or we're just not going to try because we're not exactly like
I can only
We don't have lawyers just sitting around waiting to clear stuff.
The
So
D stands for Derek Sakai.
Thanks. Yep.
yeah.
What if it does? What if Derek just said, "Oh, I got to change the hat"? Okay, then he just put his own name there.
Right.
I would love that. Derek
Hopefully
deserves it.
Clementine's a big Derek
He's
Sakai
a silent boss. That guy's so good.
Yeah, that. I'm sorry to be back on the Randy mustache Easter egg, but I think that lived on in every other Walking Dead game has one. And then in Walking Dead Season 4, the line isn't there, but you can use a telescope to look at constellations, I believe. And then there's just a Randy mustache constellation that you can find if you look around. And that's just like the most powerful version of that could possibly exist.
I'm going to have to find, I'll be playing... I'll only be able to get through the first 3 episodes for these 3 days, but when I get to episode 5, I'll definitely have to check out that Easter egg. I'm excited to find it now.
Clementine turns her hat around, revealing the D has been replaced with the Smash Brothers logo is like the most powerful thing that could ever happen.
If Piranha Plant can make it in, I feel like Lee and Clementine can make it in.
Really funny.
Looks like a bunch of old dirty
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know what movesets would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something with
I would.
walkers.
Yeah. Clem gets into Smash. I gotta just have to log off the internet. Also, a little. I mean, there's. Yeah. I don't think anyone in chat here is going to be a perpetrator of this, but there is a certain type of hardcore Walking Dead fan who likes to request and then re-request and then request and then request and then re-request and request to follow my private life Instagram, into which I say no constantly, and it's only Walking Dead fans that do it. It's unbelievable.
Sean,
it's like
brag that you have a private Instagram.
No, I mean anyone can have a private Instagram. You say no. It's just like, hey, here's a picture of like my cat and my partner. You know, like
right.
Can't have that. You know, like a private person.
What a humble brag.
You every day post another page from the secret design document of season 2.
Yeah.
I love
Doesn't
how...
happen to you? Is all your stuff public? Does that not happen to you, Jake? Is it just me? Now it's a humble brag.
I don't have a private account. I got nothing to hide.
Sean, I love how you basically were like no one's brought it up, and you're just like, no guys, y'all can't follow my private Instagram. Like, if you go to this username, you will not be able to follow me. Everyone's like, oh man.
I regret this line of comment. I'll be honest.
Oh, Kenny's line or your line?
No, mine. Gotcha. I regret bringing it up.
Oh,
yeah.
Becky just dropped some extremely good content in chat where she said the reason why so many Randy Tudor Easter eggs exist, it should be noted, was because he was an absolutely amazing programmer on the entire series. I think he was one of the very few people who worked on every single Walking Dead episode, I'm pretty sure. And like, absolutely fair. Randy totally rules and is one of the greats. And he does have a powerful stash. No lies. No lies detected.
He's like if someone in a motorcycle gang decided to become a computer programmer and make video games. He's that's the best way to describe him.
Nice.
And he's probably he's like one of those kind people who just wants to make stuff work. And when you work with people like that, it's very appreciative.
Yeah, one of the better things about working at Telltale was that the team was generally a group of people where if you were working on the game and we sort of all kind of knew what it was going to be, but then someone had an idea that was just like without question better than the thing we were already going to do, odds are very high that anyone within earshot of that would be like, oh yeah, yep, okay, we got to do that now. That's actually better. You're right. And I think Randy was like super emblematic of that, which is really cool when he's a programmer who's there all the time, because he's someone who can actually make the weird ideas happen in the game in a way that a lot of us could not. So yeah, Randy rules.
Yeah, it's sort of like there's the people who are like like the curse of the good idea, where it goes like, no, if I hear it, we're gonna have to do it. Like, there's no version of reality where you say, here's a better idea for this scene or for this moment or for this piece of game design, and then we throw it in the bin and stick with what we have because we already have it. Like, but this isn't gonna happen. And Telltale just had a surplus of people like that. And I guess an environment where we felt like we could do that with each other, which is good.
Damn, this thing is the worst piece of shit. Something's always tripping.
Pro engine generator.
I just want to say real quick that he's like, oh, well, okay. He thought that the generator had gotten, like, that the breaker had gotten tripped. But it seemed like at first that he was just saying, like, you know, like, man, what's wrong with it? And it's just the off switch is off. It's just like, you know, you could try to turn it back on.
People in Walking Dead season 1 have a lot of trouble with technology, with basic switches and batteries.
Don't get me started with Carly's batteries. Yeah. I gave Carly a hard time when I was like, I was checking the batteries and I was making the joke, oh, Carly, you had the batteries upside down. Ha ha ha. Carly, Jesus, you had the batteries upside down. Like, you know, like after realizing, no, wait, you actually did.
Yeah, that's leftover content from when the game was first person and that puzzle was completely different. And I think we just wanted to save all the art and animation, so it got stuffed into that scene, and then it turned out to be the wrong decision. But so it goes.
Oh no, I mean, there was nothing wrong with it at all.
I'm going to spend some time coming up with a fake Telltale employee that never existed that we can hang all our bad decisions on.
Yeah. Oh man, you remember when Kevin did that terrible Universal Remote moment? Man, Kevin.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, remember when? We're trying to think of a good name, like
Don Schmanaman.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Yeah. I gotcha. Thank you, Opposing Horse, for the $20 donation, and Ogaj, I don't know how to say your username, another 50 for that powerful stash. Thank y'all so much.
People get hungry, and a few loaves of bread fetch a high price.
No. I honestly, like, I mean, like, for example, when we were doing that, killing all the zombies, trying to save that woman who ended up not wanting to be saved, right?
We're gonna kill that poor woman.
Yeah, I could not for the life of I was stuck forever until I finally looked down and realized there was a pillow in the parking lot, right? And it was so great because it was such a Telltale's games, like, yeah, obviously there's a pillow there, you know, like I'm the idiot for missing it. Like I didn't blame the game or anything. I was just like, I should have been looking on the floor. Like, I was too busy focused, like, at the zombie across the way. But, so y'all don't feel bad about moments that were like, oh, this was from the old layout, because it all works perfectly well.
I've got to say I'm extremely hyped that we've modeled and built the inside of that generator.
Is that a Brian Gillies? A Brian Gillies?
I don't know what Brian did on episode 2. I know Brian Gillies did the entire inside of the drugstore
and the train
of F1.
And the whole train, all the stuff on the train.
He built the functioning train.
Yep. Building the intricate workings of a relatively benign piece of machinery is extreme Brian Gillies energy, though.
Yes.
And he's so good at it.
Was the Pro Engine generator label the result of playtesting? I don't think so. I actually, all of the branding in this game, we generally actually wanted to be as generic as possible because it was in line with the aesthetic of the comic books, which are very sort of like staid. They're just like everything in that is very simple. Like when it's weird that I still remember this or that it's a thing, but like the police car that Lee is in, we just put the word police on the side. The original version of the texture had like so-and-so city police department, and it looked more realistic, and we're like, no, this is from a comic book where this would be a background prop and all the artist would have written on it is police in a sort of sans serif font. It's the same with the hospital at the end of the game. We wanted it to just say like hospital and not even city hospital because it just felt like this is what a background prop in a comic that wasn't really concerned with world building beyond sort of just the architecture of the space. So I'm really glad that the generator mostly just says generator on it. It's pretty rare that we got specific with anything like that.
Right.
That's thoughts on that. I guess that's what I have.
The real lesson to be learned from what Jake just shared for any budding game developers is build a very intricate and well articulated intellectual reason to do less work. to just name
a lot of work, dude.
Yeah, just like.
But you're right. We could have done a bunch of graphic design and invented a fake city, or you could have just written police in Helvetica bold. It's whatever. It's your choice.
Yeah. Real quick, we just thank you so much, William Lee, for the $200 donation.
Heck yeah.
Also, we found the murder shed.
Look, I just came in.
And I just lied about the door.
Probably my idea, brother. Hey, was anyone with you?
William Lee is a
No, she went in the house.
cyber athlete of some repute.
Yeah, good.
In the Dota 2 community. Very good guy.
He's making a request, Sean, in chat that you're really not bringing to the stream here.
He said that he wants me to admit that I have a weird shaped head.
Well.
And I said, yeah, I admit it.
Okay.
Oh, I mean vocally.
Okay. Because I wasn't going to say anything, but we all had our cameras on at the very beginning of the stream. So just putting that out there.
Every season it grows in a different direction. like the hump on a camel.
There you go.
Also, I'm eating some edamame, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry. I'll mute myself.
That painting on the wall, by the way, is incredible. It just scrolled past, but those like sort of black velvet looking, oh man. I'm guessing that's a Jesse McCabe. It's good.
Yeah.
I can't.
Inside of this house feels exactly how I hoped it felt when I first heard the pitch for this episode, and I think that
same.
Awesome.
I was just gonna say that.
That bookshelf that's just wedged into the hallway for reasons that are not understood, but there's light coming from behind it. It's just like so good, and
it's so
really
good.
deep shadows everywhere and stuff. Like this is the scene that was like, okay, the art style that we worked on at the beginning of the season was really delivered on by the guys who did episode 2.
And I think y'all did a great.
There's another thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I like the almost like you said, a theme change where like you're at the Motor Inn and everything's kind of gray and dismal. You meet these guys and you're at their dairy farm and everything's immediately bright and colorful, and it's almost too bright and colorful as far as like an ominous, like, okay, these guys are a little too cheery. And then now that we're in the house, everything's like, Lee's kind of creeped out and, much darker. I love it.
Yeah, over the course of the whole episode, it becomes more and more overcast and then turns nighttime, and it happens over every scene change really subtly, and I'm sure that was a huge pain in the butt for all the people who did all of the lighting across this episode, but it's so awesome. It's really nice.
Yeah, because
there's this thing that's like, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, no, you go ahead.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, you go ahead.
There's this, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
No, please.
There's a fourth person here. There's a thing that's very hard to do in video game development, which it's hard to do in any visual medium, but I think it's exceptionally hard in video games because people are piloting, like the camera or the protagonist, which is to create a consistent tone over time that doesn't break. And I would always, in the back of my mind, get super skittish about things in the story that hung on our ability to do that. And this is a perfect example of you're going to get up from the dinner table and then you're going to go snoop around, and the entire time you're snooping around, it's going to feel like you're snooping around. And every single time we cut the camera, it's going to feel like someone could grab you and go like, hey, what are you doing? And we're going to have to represent that visually in every frame of the game. We're going to have to represent that in the audio. We're going to have to represent that in the mechanics. And even just when you look at the walking up the stairs, like getting a custom walk, like getting a custom scary walk for going up those stairs was all part of setting you up for this scene. to feel like, okay, I'm slowly peeling away these tiny pieces of this mystery, and it was nailed, absolutely nailed by everyone on the team. So good.
This moment.
No.
Oh, Stumpy, no. Oh God. Mark, what are you doing on the floor? Come on, it's time for dinner.
What happened to your legs, man? Don't.
He's cake.
He's cake.
Mark was cake all along.
It's the meme. It's the meme, guys.
The barbecue. Barbecue is people.
In 2020, Lee backs out of that room and says, "Oh, it's just the meme."
Oh, I see.
Oh, look at that. The walking down the stairs in Free Walk, and then it cut, and then he blends right into running down the stairs without a camera cut is so good. And then this, I love it.
Duck is helping himself. I wish Duck would slow
Duck
down.
Duck is a growing boy.
No, Duck, no. He's eating a whole plateful. Oh,
God.
Jesus.
I wrote this. This is the scene that I wrote. I was handed out this scene. I remember this 100%. And if I didn't, no one can prove me wrong on this stream. It'll be later when I'm an asshole.
When
Sorry,
Mark
no.
Darren's like, my dude, I put so much work into this.
Go upstairs and look.
No, I can. There are certain words that I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote this.
This is a dairy, not a ranch. Think about it.
How do you get to the point where you can tell Larry to eat it? Because that's the most powerful branch of all in this.
Eat up, Larry.
Help
I
yourself.
think we missed it.
Yeah, I think I missed it. I was too.
We
I was
missed it.
too-
We missed it. There's a
fine.
branch where you can be like, you know what, Larry, eat up.
Dang.
You're taught not to waste. It's how I was raised.
Who would have
how
thought
I
the
raised
Soylent
my
Green
boys.
barbecue was
Now
people?
we got monsters
I would have never
roaming around
guessed.
that do nothing but eat people.
I remember.
Continue to rot till they eat some
Boy,
more. We think we
I don't
can put
even.
that meat
Well,
to
nope,
bed.
not gonna talk about it.
I'm gonna puke.
Yep.
You're all sick. Sick in the head.
Lee, that's not a very nice
Yeah,
thing
Sean,
to
do you know if
say.
Chuck has talked about the inspiration for this family at all anywhere?
Andy is right.
Publicly?
We go after folks
Yeah.
that are gonna die anyway.
Unclear.
One
Yeah,
You
I
can
don't-
text him.
Nah, it's fine.
Jerry, thank you for the donation of $20. Really appreciate it.
Hey, nice. Wow, we're at 1790. Crazy.
Run!
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly it's. Okay.
Lots of use for y'all right here.
What the what?
Y'all shouldn't have insulted our mama.
Down. We're walking out of here.
Mommy,
I don't want to die. Mommy, what did I eat?
Somebody do something.
Everything will be okay.
Oh, you just say we're screwed.
We're screwed. Game
Question
over,
for
man.
Jake and Sean. Would you eat people? No.
Kill you.
No.
Ooh.
I would not eat people.
Thank you, Fiona, for the $20 donation. You know, have you all ever seen Bob's Burgers?
Oh, that is like my. That's like my comfort food show. I love that show.
I love that show. Episode 1, you know, was like they were, there was rumor that they were serving human meat, and then at the end of the episode, there was the Adventurous Eaters Club that they were like, "Are y'all still selling human meat burgers?" And Bob's like, "We are for $50 a burger," and they're like, "All right." It's like, "Oh, sweet." I don't know, it made me think of that.
Very good timing on the so much good stuff going on here. Very good timing on the cut to black.
The shot
Us
looks,
not
I
being
mean,
it.
yeah.
Knowing we needed humans to throw up was going to be important, but we had to then figure out a way to make sure that it looked natural, which is do it from first person through closed eyes. Yeah, man.
You okay, Clementine?
And
I built that eye close
God,
effect.
I'm
for
so
episode
glad
1.
because I just didn't. Oh, episode 2 is such a banger.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
good.
gosh. It's
Once
about
it
to
gets
get-
going, it is like boosh, boosh, boosh. It is just, it goes.
Yes. What's about to happen between Larry and everyone else had me on the edge of my seat, hella anxious last time I played. Can't believe he said hella, but you know.
Do you really want to attract their attention?
From the south you are, you say, huh? It sounds like a little bit of Northern California creeping in there, Caleb.
Turns out he's an idiot and a liar.
Oh my god.
Man, really being berated by somebody tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's me, but don't forget, guys, we're raising money for JDRF. You can buy the Humble Bundle in the chat below and get all the Walking Dead games, Telltale's Walking Dead, Telltale's Batman, Wolf Among Us, and then the games Oxenfree and Heaven's Vault. $15. Proceeds go to help fight. Proceeds go to help fight type 1 diabetes, and you get all these amazing games.
I know who you really are.
Oh yeah, Larry knows our secret. I completely forgot about that. In my last playthrough, Carly knew our secret, but Carly didn't survive this run.
Good. It's good to play it safe like that.
No. Dad, come on.
Yeah, that was why. That's why Doug survived. She knew too much.
He's not dead. Somebody help me.
If he's dead,
He's not dead.
Oh crap.
what has to happen, Lee? Think about it.
I hate this moment. Because
Yep.
Kenny,
It's not great.
because Kenny and Lily already like are at like it like they already hate each other. So for him to be like, we don't want the Incredible Bulk around here ripping us to shreds. It's such a moment.
No. God damn it, Kenny. He's not dead.
I've also just got to say, unrelated to anything else going on, the just color and lighting design in the sequence is awesome and is one of the nicest looking things that I think I had ever seen out of the Telltale tool at this point. I mean, this whole back half of episode 2, once it starts getting dark, just like at the time at least, was probably easily the nicest looking thing that the team had shipped to Telltale. It's awesome.
And Harrison Pink mentioned, I totally forgot that Mark foreshadows this whole sequence in the very first scene of 102 when he says, Larry's a big dude. I hate to be stuck in a room with him. And I definitely agree.
Come on, Dad.
Oh, that's
Kenny's got like a Jimmy Buffett t-shirt on.
So good.
Help Kenny or help Lily.
Come on.
It's not gonna matter. I'm gonna help Lily though.
No, I don't think so.
Now, I don't know if this was meant to be or if this is totally like a game thing, but keep a close eye on Larry here. There, I maybe I think it's just okay. Well,
Oh my god.
yeah.
I forgot. I have forgotten about how. I have forgotten the intensity of this moment.
Dropping the salt lick on it. Okay, last time I played this game, I could have sworn I saw him move, but I realize now it was just the pumping of his chest.
I'm actually pretty sure that he does. If you get enough compressions in, I think that he does move.
Okay.
Someone who worked on 102 would remember that better, but I think the intent there was that it was ambiguous as to whether or not he was waking up from your CPR or if he was waking up as a zombie. But either way, he moves if you do it enough times. I think.
Louise.
Or I'm lying to you. Could be.
Yeah. Well, I think last time I played it, I swear I could have seen him move for like just less than a second, and then the salt lick drops. And I remember
The way
feeling
that salt lick drops in camera when you're trying to save him is good.
it's just such a perfect angle for it to happen.
In chat, Kenny drops the salt lick, lifting it up to reveal the Smash logo.
Normal, as someone who goes back to the same joke constantly, I would usually advise against it, but that was a strong one.
He was still alive, Lee. He was still alive.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Well, he's not now, Lily. Maybe I shouldn't defend Kenny for removing Larry's upper jaw.
He cares about keeping his family safe. He doesn't give a shit about.
I know salt licks are heavy. Like I've lifted one, but
yeah,
I just never thought of it decimating this dude's head like that.
There's like another thing that's like, it was like the writing team just being kind of, I don't think, at least for me, it was the first time I'd been in a writer's room environment with a bunch of people ever. And I don't think there's something, again, like really special about the group that was working on these games, because all the interlocking pieces of, like, it's a dairy farm, there are cows, salt lick's the thing that kills the guy, like the foreshadowing of hate to be trapped in a room with him, which is sort of like just like, it's very on its face, like bold foreshadowing, but you hear it and it just seems like a turn of phrase. All that stuff is just people really on their A game, and it's fun to come back and look at it, whatever, 8 years later, and go like, oh man, people were good. Yeah, people did a great job on this episode.
Two new things. First of all, Big Ol' Drippy says that I saw a video. His mouth does start to move differently. Like he just Googled it, and fans argue that Larry indeed was still alive when he met his untimely end. But also anonymous, someone
they strike again.
As $250 donation. Oh, and another anonymous donation for $150. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I can't wrap my head around it. Like, we're already at $2,210 for the total donation. That's crazy. I don't know if any of you are buying the Humble Bundle. You can get games out of it if you do that way, but thank y'all for being so generous.
What a thrill.
This is awesome. We're playing great game, you know, talking to some cool guys.
Jake has shipped probably 50 episodes of Telltale games, plus two major
non-Telltale games.
Two major AAA games, or one major AAA game, one podunk indie game. So all I'm seeing here is that if you play all of Jake's games on stream, we can probably just donate like $1 million. Just gotta play all of Jake's oeuvre.
I think if anyone worked at Telltale Games for more than 5 years, you shipped more games than you could count. Generally, was how that worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna get out of here, we need.
I can't imagine. I mean, I've played a ton.
What
of
will happen
games.
first? Yeah. We will find a cure for type 1 diabetes, or we will finish Jake's oeuvre. Like, what will happen first?
No.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's the goal.
This is really fun. I'm really glad that I'm glad we crossed the 2K number after a bunch of bloviating from myself at the beginning.
Like, I really am blown away, because I mean, like, when we reached $1,000, I mean, obviously I was like, this is amazing. I can't imagine. Like, I had not planned for that number, but for us to almost be to the 2,500 mark before the end of this stream, it's, you know, people's generosity. It always amazes me. Which pocket should we search for?
Well, this is one of those classic Randy Tudor Easter eggs here.
Really?
We used to call him. Well, he was known around the office as Right Pocket Randy, so not gonna go any further on that, but
his right pocket?
No, just here we are. I don't know. I can't remember what you do here. Why is this important?
His coins.
We're trying to get coins to, you know, because we wanted pocket change.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, we got to adventure game our way out of here.
Yeah, cat hair on a mustache. Cat hair on a whatever. Honey on a cat hair, whatever.
Yeah, you
know. Look at this official U.S. quarter. No cease and desist from the United States Treasury on this one.
This episode has a ton of detail shots of people screwing and unscrewing things. It's
we're obsessed.
I like it. I don't know. I like that there's weird procedural stuff in here. I don't like that screw did a 360 when the animation played a second time, though. We gotta fix that.
Yeah.
Our original tagline for season 1 was "It's all screwing," but then it just confused our customer base. So
That's the one thing that Robert Kirkman made us change.
Yeah, Walking Dead season 1, it's all screwing. That's on the borderline of tone for this stream, right?
Yeah, that's
our
bad.
friends at JDRF are going to be okay.
You could.
That's more of the.
You could make it family friendly. Say that this episode was screwy.
It's all screwing around.
Yeah, that's all screwing around.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna be
So, yeah, the non-juvenile stream we'll do later. We'll
Big old Drippy says, "Guys, I love the game, but frankly, if I have to unscrew one more thing, I'm gonna lose it."
That might actually be the end of things you have to unscrew. Although you do have to start a train in a very realistic way in episode 3.
Yeah, it does involve detaching a cart, but I don't think. I don't think.
I love the scene. Like, there's just certain shots of him standing there in silence next to Kenny after this, being like, "Well, we're worried about Clementine, but we're also just waiting for this thing to happen. We're all marinating in the consequences of our previous choices."
I mean, there's great cinematography for sure. The team did an amazing job because, I mean, like you said, the shots are what really sell it. It's what like angles like this is where the stress and the you feel like you're actually there, being right over Lee's shoulder, you know. Because you could have easily done the whole Sam and Max big open room, Sam and Max just start talking to one another kind of thing, but obviously that doesn't have the same feel, the same drama that you want to achieve here.
Yeah,
good stuff.
There's just lots of good sin. I mean, there's just so much good filmmaking of where the way Lee walks in the frame right there, the framing of the scene here, where you
getting a new look at the murder shed and truly realizing just how messed up it is.
Those plastic sheets are pretty good. That's like high-end content in Telltale tool circa 2012.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm like, look at that plastic sheet. It's transparency.
Whoa.
This shed is gross. I forgot about it.
Yeah, that's where they hung people and drained their blood. Oh, I remember. I'm supposed to grab I'm supposed to decide what my weapon is. And I remember getting upset because out of all these things, you can only grab one of them. There's a hay hook and there's a cattle prod, but I can't, bring both of them to the fight.
Yep.
It's foreshadowing for the end of the game.
Is it? No. Kind of. What?
Oh, that's good that he sets one down. I don't know.
When Lee only has one hand. Yeah.
That hay hook comes in handy. I gotcha.
While Fun asks he says they say weird technical question. Were the skins for the characters different for blood covered or were there decals? I don't think that the Telltale tool had decal support at the time of this game. I think that there were just hand painted variants that we switched to over the story. And then that was one of those things that had to just get tracked depending on how scenes played out. The characters had different materials that carried across the season. So it's the boring but traditional one where you just make it all by hand. These, especially season 1, was just super, super handmade, and then it kind of just presented like it was a video game, but it was a ton of people just doing everything manually. Was that just lightning?
Becky was answering the question. For the most part, wait, what?
They were separate textures.
For the most part, they were separate textures for blood spatter. Yeah, but there were multiple textures per character for the different body parts.
Oh, that makes sense. Becky would know better than me because she actually was one of the people who turned the different textures on and off in the scenes depending on the game state. And I just looked at it and said, "That looks good."
I hate this.
Classic Walking Dead customer.
I love it. I hate it in a love it kind of way. I hate that moment of Lee looking through the door not knowing where the other brother is. Like that's what I hate. I hate it because it's such good tension. I love that the Weasel brother has an obsession with his gun. Like earlier he was like basically petting it. He's just a creepy guy to be around.
What are you doing outside the barn? Oh, shit.
Just guarding the place, like you said.
Sitting out in the rain like a damn deer. Mama says we can't keep that many folks alive and not expect trouble. Pick one to keep and kill the rest.
Can I pick which one to keep alive?
Not the kid.
You guys got awfully quiet.
The tension.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I literally checked Discord because I was like, did I lose them?
No. Just the tension.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. No, I remember this scene being so good because, like, you know, you're looking out, you talk to Kenny, and then you...
More little first-person stuff hiding in here.
Yeah.
It
ended up being a nice little tool to have in the tool belt when you have these little tight environments like this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I saw someone in chat asked, was cutting back and forth between first and third person like confusing or were there concerns about it? And I don't really think there were in practice. It really, not because there shouldn't have been, but I think that everyone who did the choreography and the gameplay programming ended up just doing a very good job. It feels to me, especially watching it now with some distance, it feels like when a TV show just cuts to a handheld shot or something. I don't think it's actually...
Oh my gosh. Totally forgot about this.
It's really cool.
Almost did not grab that gun. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. Were they the people that set up the bear trap?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how they were capturing the humans? I'm an idiot. No,
That's why the bear trap doesn't have the release lever on it.
Yeah, because wow. Yeah.
They wouldn't want that there. Yeah.
I knew it had something to do with like people outside, but I guess I never just connected it with them in this moment. I think last time I did because he wasn't able to release himself from the bear trap, but
yeah, I remember we tried our best to figure out, I don't know how much of the design ended up in the final art, but we worked when concepting that thing, like how could you figure out like which pieces would be welded shut and have a little box locked over them that they would presumably be able to like unlock with a key or use a little special tool to release it so that you couldn't just step on the release to get yourself out or your friend couldn't get you out. Because that's the sort of thing that you spend a lot of time talking about when making a game like this. How could you plausibly design a fictional bear trap that a person couldn't get out of that only has to work well enough that most people don't question it?
The other like truly morbid thing about this was the piece de resistance when Chuck pitched it was that if you're going to be a cannibal in the apocalypse, you can't let the person die because they'd become a zombie and therefore you wouldn't be able to. Yeah, so you have to like chop up people while keeping them alive, which is just truly horrific.
But
also
that was a really good play on Walking Dead rules.
Yeah,
that's really. I mean, I always wondered why they didn't.
Like, why is Marcus up there in that bed?
Yeah. Why is he able to like, call for help? Why didn't they just kill him? And that makes sense.
Yep, he would turn.
Which I'm not gonna say anything.
And like got him turning and like the shorthand for what you say when like something spoils, like it turns. It's this is like it's turned. Yeah, it's all very good.
That's smart. Yeah.
Oh, you can't kill me. The meat will be tainted. I love, and then the baby brother uses the rule. Oh, that's the shot. That's actually a screenshot that we used for the game. But the brother using that as like as a reason for Lee not being able to kill him is just so messed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't let the it's Doug.
Yeah.
The hell was that?
There he is.
Sorry,
man.
I had Carly last time, so there was never like I didn't remember a beam, and I'm like, who's got the sniper rifle? Like, don't let it hit your face.
What's going on?
Lee is really hyped.
We need your help.
Oh God, what happened?
Larry's dead. They chopped off Mark's legs and tried to feed him to us.
Jesus, sick.
They've still got Duck and Katja in the house. And I don't know where the fuck Kenny is.
Harrison said, God, Doug using Morse code and expecting Lee to be able to understand it is so good.
I'm sure whoever chored that also made sure that it is Morse code. I wonder if anyone has ever decoded it.
Yeah, I really want to know.
That rung a bell, Jake. I
There
feel like
surely
it
is a message in
and
there
I
that is
feel like
real.
it's something ridiculous.
I'm sure it's like, hey Lee, it's me, Doug. I'm hiding behind the hay bale.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Lee, I hope you're cool.
Lee, Tudor has the best mustache. You know.
Yeah. This rain sequence does look good. This whole approach up here in the lightning storm is like, oh, that shadow? Yes.
Oh, it's
it's
so
good content.
It's me.
Yeah, dude, that is.
Oh, Grady
It's
made
good, like
the Morse
redneck
code.
horror classics.
Dennis said that it's real Morse code. Grady made it.
Grady made it. Yep.
Calm down, lady. There's no need.
Come on now.
Dinner was delicious, but it's time to go. Oh wait, I need to not move. Or do I need
Oh,
to
right.
move?
This is if you rush her, she just shoots you.
Yeah.
Look at that. Just to have the light just draped down in the room just for this scene is like, it's good. It's good stuff. Good team making a game that's good. Whoa.
Yeah, right.
I'll kill her, Lee.
Oh dang. There's
Capital
Stumpy.
D.
I remember being so confused for like a briefest of moments why Mark was just being so weird, and I'm like, oh crap, he turned. Probably shouldn't say I'll kill all of you. I don't know if man, the lighting. It's all right. It's all right. You're all good. We're all good. Everything's cool.
I forgot how this scenario works. The way that the light shows you Mark, the closer you get, it's really good.
Yes. You don't have the guts. Shoot her. She's not a real doctor. This is so messed up. Oh,
It's really
man.
good for it.
Ah. I'm just glad Mark wasn't like moaning, groaning, yelling like some of the walkers will.
That ain't gonna happen. Andy, don't shut up.
God, this team is so good. So my microphone died, so you're getting the echoey MacBook. But man,
Oh,
this stuff
you were good.
Who the fuck do you people think you are? Look at what you've done.
Oh man.
Just calm down.
Calm down. What for? Huh? All we wanted was some goddamn gasoline.
And to eat us. The laser. I think Carly like fires a shot like right past his head or something. I forget what
Laser gun is
Carly...
laser pointer is equally effective. It turns
Yes.
out.
Turns out. Cat's had it right all along. Oof.
This game has so much action animation in it, given that I don't think we mocap on this thing.
Nope. This is all no mocap.
I mean, I guess you can tell because style-wise it doesn't look like mocap, but I just forget how much bespoke, like, scene, like, just animated scene setup we did for this.
You who doesn't forget? The animators.
Yeah, everyone who animated and chored on this game.
And like he does what now? Oh no, he's gonna rip his arms behind his body, and then he's gonna smash his head into it. And all the like things are gonna line up, and it's gonna be fine, and it's not gonna look bad. Okay.
Ah, jeez. What have I become? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Look at that
Nothing
reflection
subtle.
of Lee back there.
Nothing
I
subtle here.
love it. Oh, crap.
Does Lee have like a one-liner right there? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, school's out.
I think it is shocking. Yeah.
It's over!
That's good enough.
Fuck you!
Good response.
As soon as Dad and Mama get out here, you fuck!
I think he blew a fuse.
They're not coming.
I remember this episode making me feel better about swearing more in the writing because Mark Darren just confidently threw it around.
Don't you dare
So
walk away
like
from me,
put it
Lee.
all in the right spot.
And it I mean, it definitely works in this world. You know, obviously,
Yeah.
the last thing they're gonna worry about is their manners around the kids.
And the comics are pretty profane. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you have moments with Clementine where she's like, "You swore," you know, and like those moments are
This is
so
a cool
great.
scene.
Back here.
That was a cool scene set up.
Yeah, that was good.
I actually
really
tried
cool.
to get it to where she says that I'm not gonna say it because of JDRF, but the S word in front of Katya, and Katya like gives Lee the stink eye, but I messed it up, I guess, because she didn't say it this time. But when they're near the cow, she's supposed to be like, you know, it smells like, and then Katya just kind of glares at Lee, and Lee's like,
Yep.
I don't know where she got that from. Ah, jeez. Oh, I see.
Oh, look at that zombie Brenda.
Yeah, I saw his mom. Oh, that's so crazy.
Good. Oh, Murat's at Pixar now. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good animator.
Wow. That was an awesome episode.
Yeah, what a good one.
Still going. I mean, we're actually
There's a
about to...
denouement. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the
I think we're
set
going
us
to come
up
up to
for
the
the-
car.
yeah, set us up for the next step.
This scene also ended up looking exactly like it did in my brain when we first talked about it. Not this. Them walking through the woods. I mean, the station wagon.
Showed up when you did.
Well, we gotta stick
Right.
together. Were they really chopping up people for food?
No, Doug. No.
Man, that is sick. Clementine, she doesn't know, right? She didn't see or...
I stopped her. This fucking world now. It's hiding just unspeakable shit at every turn.
I forgot that Doug is voiced by Jared Emerson
Were you guys able to
Johnson.
salvage
What a weird
anything
thing.
good from the dairy?
Yeah, composer of all the music.
Not really.
Yep.
St. John's took everything I had before the place got completely overrun with walkers.
Oh, I was able to grab a couple of your things back while Brenda wasn't looking.
It doesn't work. You have any use for it, Doug?
It's just a basic camcorder.
While
Save
Fun
us
asks
cheap.
what kind of lighting rigs
Check
we
it out.
used for this scene and in general, the Telltale engine really only supported point lights and directional lights at this point, I think. I don't even think we had spotlight support, so it was very, very simple lighting tools. I think on this game we attached lighting rigs to the characters with directional lights that would always turn to face the camera, so we could always have characters be rim lit in shots. But other than that, we were not very advanced, I don't think.
I would imagine so.
But I know Derek Sakai went and did a lot of custom lighting across all the cutscenes just using the tools that we had.
You murdered Larry.
Fuck you, man. You're alive because of me. Why didn't you have my back?
What am I supposed to say to you, Kenny?
No, I saved them by making sure Larry didn't.
Dennis said, yeah. Jake saw it.
Dennis said the car flipped the other way. Then I pointed out it had to be the other way around to set up episode 5. Now I don't remember which direction the car is facing.
Maybe we should stay out of each other's way for a while.
Come on, Clementine. Stay close.
Every time I think the episodes are over, there's just some other Walking Dead moment
We didn't kill them.
Like killing the zombies to save that woman who ended up being bit, and she's like, "I told y'all to leave me alone," was such a Walking Dead moment. Like coming up to this car and the team not being able to decide whether or not you'd save the food for whoever owns it compared to taking it for ourselves, you know? Like the choices hit me in the gut every time, I swear.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be in the game pretty early, right, Jake? I remember this type of scene, a car running on an empty street and not knowing if someone was coming back, and like how long do you wait to decide what to do with it.
Hello?
Yeah, I remember that being something that we talked about quite a bit.
I wonder how many people recognize this car when they see it later. Who knows if this car comes back?
Wow.
Don't look at chat.
The more you know. I'll remember a station wagon.
This creep up stuff, man, it's funny thinking about this. Like, just
Oh crap!
good
Maybe
car
you gotta
interior.
see this. It's a shitload of food and supplies back here.
It's funny, like, just thinking about, I know that there is not a jump scare inside this car, and everyone who made the game obviously knows that, but it's just,
All of us.
these games are very, when they're doing their best, they're very conscious of just of the mind space that a player is going to be in at every given second, regardless of what you as the designer know that it means. Like, of course you're going to sneak up on the car that has the little dinging door chime, even though it, like, quote unquote means nothing. Like, in the moment it means everything. I just love that stuff.
Right.
Don't worry about that, Duck.
And then you're,
this is a very typical conversation you'd have because video games are so interdisciplinary, where you'd go, okay, yeah, so then we're going to do a custom walk-up where Lee sneaks up to the car. And then someone goes, well, there's nothing scary in the car, right? And you go, no. And you're like, well, why does he need to sneak up? And you're like, oh. And it's because everyone's, got their mind on different stuff and working on different things, and people aren't like thinking about the linear progression of it. But something that was really special about the team at Telltale is that everyone kind of did. But you'd be surprised how often you have conversations like that when you're trying to make something.
The rest of us are taking this stuff. Okay, what have we got in here?
Look, there's more food in that box.
They have antibiotics.
Or Clementine.
Any electronics? Radios? Batteries?
Here. Got it?
Yeah, I got it. Lee,
I have
there's
to
a
type
hoodie
in.
in here. Could probably fit Clementine.
She's good. Thanks.
Whatever, man. It's gonna get cold out eventually.
Here, Clem. Want some batteries?
Doug, did you just offer that girl batteries?
You know that camcorder? I got it working. You might want to see this.
Oh, wow. We get to see what's on the camcorder? Did that happen last time? Yeah, I remember this. So if I remember correctly, that woman in the Save Lots vest, she was watching us.
Oh, darling baby, look at you. Look at you. Oh, you need a mama, sweetheart. We won't let them bandits get you, will we? No.
Okay.
Where's your hat?
I don't know. Can you help me find it?
Sure. When did you lose it?
I had it a couple days ago.
I promise. If
Y'all thinking you're safe?
This is one of those things where like wanted you to like whatever you said at the beginning to come back and like be a thing here at the end. God, yeah.
Don't worry, little girl. Bandits got their eye on that dairy. As long as they keep getting food from them, you'll be safe. I promise.
Oh, man. And then it just that immediate cut to black. Ah.
Yeah. Super stoked with the way that one ended. Man, good job, everybody.
Wow. Wow.
Next time on. I forgot that we did these.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Committing
My
to
memory
these,
of these is that they are big lies because they
they're
were made
big
before
lies.
the
And the
episodes
team,
were
when
produced.
we just like, it was not. Oh my gosh, it was one of those things that like people felt like we needed to do, and by the time you got around to thinking about the next time on, you wanted to just not do it. I remember just like getting that like email being like, hey, would you like script out the next time on and try to include some of the choice stuff? I'd be like, oh my gosh, please no, not the next time ons. Like the one next time on was the anxiety of one full episode to me.
These were also super hard to produce because we had to have one video game environment that included like 15.
Yeah, we're cutting between all these different environments, but Walking Dead doesn't have streaming; it's all loading.
Yeah,
it's
it's so crazy. Where
like,
these are like,
this is
I
all
can't
just
even know.
happening in a
Like, how do we show the
giant-
train station and the train and the RV and the motor inn? Like, what a ridiculous thing for us to do. Anyway,
Instead,
episode 3.
we just make our own level that was like a movie backlot.
Whoa,
It's
the
funny that all this
stat
stuff
server
has
still
started
works
to
good.
normalize to 50% over the course of all the years. Yeah. Well, guys, that was so fun. That was a real blast.
That
Check
was
out
super
again.
fun.
I really enjoyed that more than I thought I was going to, and $2,210 is not nothing. So
pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, really. Like, thank you guys so much for coming on. It was a blast talking to y'all. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us on here. Do you think that these are the stats that have accumulated since the game first shipped, or do you think they reset these from time to
I
time?
have no idea what computer in the world is paying attention to these.
I know it's probably a Skybound computer at this point, but I think, but I hope it's the same server. That would be awesome if this is like 8 years of stats. Anyway, sorry for that last.
Probably in Randy Tudor's basement. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. Really appreciate it. It helped JDRF a ton. It was awesome getting to know you guys. It was cool seeing that little legacy unfold in front of me. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. Well, y'all are welcome to head on out. I think I'm about to wrap up the stream here. We're about to talk about the stats and then
Cool.
we'll be done.
I gotta take off, but that was super fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Okay. Bye, guys. All right. So that was the JDRF Twitch stream of season 1, episode 2 of The Walking Dead with Sean and Jake. That was awesome, guys. Y'all are amazing for all the donations, all the Humble Bundle buying. Like, I can't thank y'all enough. I mean, we did something amazing today. If my friend Blake was here, he'd be unbelievably jealous. When I started my YouTube channel forever ago, before I ended up doing Twitch streaming, he and I started it together, which I actually uploaded the episodes to Twitch. So some of the oldest episodes uploaded on here, you can see he and I recorded Super Mario Brothers 3 together because we didn't have anything else to record. And if he could see it today, he'd be so unbelievably jealous. I got him good. I just want to say about the stats. We chopped David's leg off. I wasn't sure if we could or could not, so that's my bad. We were in the minority there. You and 60% of players had Danny shoot Jolene. Yeah, I wasn't gonna shoot her. Right down the middle, we didn't help kill Larry, but I mean that is just half and half. Killed both the St. John brothers. 61% of players did not kill the brothers, including us. Stole food from the car. Us and the minority barely 48% didn't steal. So that's crazy. I can't thank y'all enough. I have no idea how much the Wolf Among Us streams were able to raise. Hopefully they were able to raise a lot, but I'm incredibly proud to have all y'all here and to be a part of this. I'm exhausted. I haven't been able to sleep. Work's been crazy. So yeah, to raise $2,200 last year, I mean, we raised $400, and that was mostly my friends and family, because I just did not. I mean, I just don't have a huge following on Twitch or anything. So so for us to come together with some big names, and to get this money raised, I'm so proud of what we've done here tonight. I can't thank y'all enough. If I wasn't so tired, I'd probably cry. If I wasn't trying to be a professional, I'd probably cry. Yeah. Y'all did awesome. No, man. And of course, the team that made the awesome episode 2, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time. My time is Central Standard Time, so 7 Central Standard Time. We will be streaming episode 3, and we will have Harrison on there, another game developer, and hopefully we can raise some more money then. But either way, it was a blast. It was so much fun. I got to, tell some goofy jokes, got to hear some awesome stories. It was nice. Oh, thank you, Fiona. It was nice to sit back and listen. I was honestly very stressed out initially about having Jake and Sean on, because, I don't know Jake and Sean, they don't know me, and I get social anxiety. So even though I can stream for 50 people and not think about it, or I can, be in theater or whatever, talking to people on the internet I've never talked to before, I'm like, oh crap. Like, I'm gonna be an idiot. Like, sounds so stupid. Like, this is gonna be awful. But it was, so much fun. And I learned so much. And I have such a newfound respect for not only Telltale games in general, all the games that I grew up loving, but like this game in general. Just like, it was really awesome. Really, really awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jake. Y'all were great. All right, well, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all have enjoyed. This was, once again, JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. For anyone watching later on, don't forget you can still donate to JDRF. Even when I'm not on here, it won't go to this 2,000 goal. That's my goal towards JDRF's goal. But JDRF has their own, major goal, so you can still donate that way. The Humble Bundle is still going on for, I believe, like the next 10 days. Like, there's still plenty of time to get these games. So even if you're catching this stream later on, be sure to check these links out and see if you can jump on those. Yeah. Oh, Extreme. The Humble Bundle ends July 28th. So if you're catching this stream before then, definitely check it out. I've been your host with the mostest, Calebrated Gamer. You can check out my channel as well. I play games like that. I'm a variety streamer. Most recently, I've been playing a lot of Crash Bandicoot and a lot of Paper Mario. In fact, on the 17th, this Friday, I'll have some free time to play the brand new Paper Mario game. Excited about that. And next week, we might be streaming to JDRF more Walking Dead. It depends on some different factors, so don't hold your breath. But if we do get to do that, then we'd be able to beat Season 1 on the JDRF channel, which would be really cool. But we'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed. So thanks for watching. I'm going to sing us out. Until next time, hope to see y'all tomorrow in the next stream. Bye, guys! And unfortunately, this stream is over, but we'll see you very soon.
Hey, this was really fun.
We hope you liked it too. We really do.
Seems like we're just begun.
When suddenly we're through. Unfortunately.
Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
For now, it's time to go.
I really do hate to say it.
But hey, I say, well, that's okay.
Yeah, it is.
'Cause we'll see you very soon, I know.
Yeah, super soon.
Very soon, I know.
Ooh, get it.
Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye. And tomorrow's another day.
Robot in the Brobits crew. And you'll be ready for you to come and stay to watch a Let's Play another day.
Bye, guys.